hadamadin ila nyantolum preji kendomi annun ji senengo adabe hadamadun la balu wala kon annun hadamadun ka fengo fen dundi akono kono ayanda ke ku senawol ay ke kuti mi yalo ko ata hadamadun mantora madum one stop water solutions limited ibe janne gambia banko kan andun ye fitarole natal me yalo ko isala jiol kende andi anu isa senen inatale pour ka ji kendo ji senawo natale gambia banko kan jio mi yalo ko atal mantora la annun jio diata bati one stop water solutions limited ye fitarole natal me yalo ko alse muna fanganola alla pompol isala jiol tenten ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo holo fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solutions ya natale 10-inch filter set of 3 ya sotale filter mi yalo ko asidiyota aya tenten natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12-inch set of 3 filter mi yalo ko asidiyota aya dada aya senendi mense beta alla jata kendato fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalo ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mense beta alla jata kendaya filter member ko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour kala jata kendaya sa hen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansundo ko na wata tankol fana sotale kabirim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsimol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala ismol kumandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia bank.
Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jana Bosonko, and I'm joined with my amazing co-hosts. Aliu Cisse here, we have Ibrahim Abalde, as well as Ansumana Isonyasi. But like I always say, when we are about to start the program, it's interesting to know that the conversations that we have outside of the program are even more exciting than the conversations we have right here on the panel. And today, the conversation was based on fan la suñu waji joge man suma waj bi joge na ba Angleterre wa mashallah yow sa waj bi fan la joge
mine is from Dubai.
Yours is from Dubai. Yow fan la sa waj bi joge
Man Turkish brand la so
ma bal la ñew bo
This is
brand
Turkey ba waaw ye man li na ma sa poti meew de
poti meew no this is Turkish hana da nga fogg ne li chip la li lum la saf li luy sign ni
waaye poti meew ga
no li du porom this is real gold powder
maser
xoolal li
fan la jógee nga ne
xoolal Turkish brand
waaye oyof naa man de
te li jógee wu Turkey rek de li Istanbul la jógee Istanbul si boppam
jógee wu Turkey
waaye
Istanbul la
dafa
jógee
oyof de yow
Istanbul bi mel
yow sa waj bi daf ma saf bu ma
xoolal rek
boy
eso wonya maa ngi host
boy eso listen he said it's from Turkey it's from Istanbul
waaye lii dafa saf ma
am naa fu waaye dama la bëgg a jox di specific destination fu mu jógee xam nga Turkey rëy na
waaye Istanbul si
foofu la jógee Turkey Istanbul si boppam la
yow sa waj bi fan la jógee may leen ma sa waj bi
sa Turkish brand la yaa ngi gis
foo ko jëndee
man la Turkey la
no foo ko jëndee
dañ ko jëndee Turkey indi ko na da nga daagu ba ma sa tere ko
you want to tell me they are brothers cousins
yes
maa suma waj
man dafa mel ni suma waj baa fi gën a seer parce que bii pound sterling la jar
mais xam naa ne bi moom dirham la jar Dubai
waaye pound di nga ko compare ak dirham
ma ne bii dirham
waaye
la
bu waxante dëgg waay
ne ko koppar foofu ko koppar
whether nga change ko dollar or nga change ko pounds or euro yëpp benn
but le mu ne di watch is from Turkey it's from Istanbul
ci biir Turkey
ma ne si biir Turkey xam nga soo demee Turkey demuloo Istanbul moom demuloo fen
baax na jeex na like I always say it's amazing to have you guys here and the conversation
Aliou nag tooñ rek la mu
Aliou man lu ta man mooy loolu
boy last time day ñëw ba ne mu ne in fact I'm greeting our viewers in Philippines ma ne ko bande Philippines
dañ am benn jigéen we have a woman she's from Philippines she's constantly watching this morning constantly yeah constantly
benn jéegi Philippines lañ am
okay
man la jey bu la jigéen lan moo tax nga ne jeeg
dama la bëgg a woon di geographical nature
comme
man duguma si hey wax yooyu duguma si de
waaye man maa si duga bàyyi ma ci
anyway for some seriousness let me just take you through what to expect on this program today. We have the African proverb as usual, and today we'll be taking a look at International Women's Day. We'll take a look at the need to support women considering our challenges and our opportunities. And thank God that today I have men here whom I'll give the opportunity to tell me what they think about
Right,
International
men.
Women's Day.
Men are here.
Yes, and they will tell me.
Why are you emphasizing it?
No, why, Jay? You need to differentiate.
Why are you guys
between-
affecting my
I'm not-
seriousness
no,
in
we
front of the
have-
camera?
No, wait.
Differentiate,
Come
man.
on, baby.
Come on,
we
man.
have men.
We're not same level.
Eso,
What do you mean?
we have doing the same level. Eso, are we going to be the same
Yes,
level?
Wala.
So I mentioned
Okay,
men.
so I have to separate the men from the boys.
Not actually the boys. There are men. Why?
Okay,
There are men,
so-
men. They are real
Let me
men.
take it back. Let me take it back.
Ah, so you need to
Let me
differentiate.
take it back. So
After 10 years of struggle.
let me take it back. Let me take it back.
Go
So
ahead.
viewers, I will give you a rundown of today's program. We have the African proverb. We have the International Women's Day discussion. And thank God that today on the panel, I'm joined by two gentlemen and a boy here.
Better, it's better like that. I mean,
boy here.
who's the boy?
Okay, then you promote. Joko Bachelor.
And a bachelor. And a bachelor. Actually, with all seriousness, I'm so glad that you guys joined me here today, because at least you'll be able to tell me how in your own spaces you're trying to promote the plight of women. We have our challenges, we have our opportunities. You know, it's beyond just gathering today and celebrating, but it's about breaking the bias. That's what we're looking forward to. We want to break the bias.
Break the bias.
You know, women in STEM, you know, women in the engineers, women journalists, wherever women are, we get to face, you know, the biases just because we're women, ranging from the wages that we receive to the opportunities that we get. These are evident, these are there, and I know as gentlemen, you know, and you'll be able to tell me how you think you'll be able to actually break the current status quo when it comes to the plight of women in the country. And if you've been following developments on QTV, you would realize that currently we have a series ongoing which has to do with giving you updates in relation to National Assembly nominations. And we have our reporters across the country giving us first-hand information in relation to different political parties filing in for their nominations. And it's quite interesting, considering that some are not filing, some are filing. We've also seen that when it comes to the coalition, when it comes to NPP, they're vying for certain constituencies. You see APRC. So it's like a break. The marriage is still there. It's not, we haven't lost it yet. So like Fat Jawa said yesterday, we're still following developments just to see how everything will materialize. And for me personally, I just feel like the fact that NPP, the coalition, is structured in this way when it comes to the National Assembly brings about that diversification when it comes to our National Assembly. At least we know this is APRC, this is NPP, this is this. Because having one political party obviously dominate will not be helpful. And Click, I'm aware Click segment also is here. And yes, we'll be joined by Silky Chris. You know, he's been quiet for some time, so he's back now on the scene.
The red card star.
The red card star. He was there, up there, and suddenly we saw he's halfway. So we want to know what the problem was. So let's take a look at our African proverb. The African proverb is, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Do xam ngeen luy axe? muy lu dee gor guy.
bu dee gor.
Séeméñ waaw.
maanaam séeméñ bi moom dafa fàtte waaye guy bi du musa fàtte.
waaye guy bi du musa fàtte. So ma laajte leen gentleman and a bachelor. Ma bëgg a xam ndax dëgg-dëgg mus ngeen a am scénario bu mel nii boo xam ne nit def na la dara eso loo xam ne métti na torop. waaye xam nga ku def lu métti moom duy fàtte la. moom dafay def rek toog.
You can forgive, but
You cannot
Wow,
exactly.
Wow. Wala mom sa kuy def si bopam. Sometimes they def ni dara sa faté na you've done wrong to someone. You know, you tend to forget, but the individual that you've done it to, it comes in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a scenario as such, and how have you worked on healing from it, because it's important to heal?
Xam nga the first step in healing is to forgive.
Okay.
Man luma jàng si proverbe bi mooy ne su la nit defee dara in most cases nit ki moo dee yomba fàtte waaye yow mi ngi ko def doo dee fàtte because métit bi si yow la nekka. So dafa mel ni lu Ali wax rek mun nga jégale waaye doo fàtte. So yes, of course, I mean, as human beings we all go through it. Man mi tamit dund naa lu mel noonu on several occasions. Waaye like I said, first step bi foog nga jégale pour nga mun a nekkaat daal foog nga jégale. Yeah.
So have you been in any scenario bo xamne jégale nga way mënulo faté?
Of course.
Okay, give us a scenario.
I can.
You can't.
I would rather reserve that.
You reserve that.
Yeah.
Okay, Balde?
Yes.
Tell us a story. Tell us about how you've been a victim of.
Yes, me sitting here.
I don't know, guys. This is a real talk. You know what I want to establish on this program? It's a real talk. You know, I've been honest about it. I've been on this platform.
Why is Ali looking at me like that?
Jay, the reason why I said I would rather reserve that is because it's private.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's no way I can say
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, but man, I feel like as people, as media individuals, sometimes I personally feel like it's okay for us to open up. I've been on this platform and open up on things I felt like were personal, but I also feel like it's going to impact someone else watching out there to normalize these conversations.
Not everything is for public consumption.
That's true.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's your decision. Kon reena de. Xawma lum doon way reena.
Wax nañu ko wax.
Yeah, not really.
Man da
Let's
xawma
go
nag
ahead.
waye fi jang halam.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Come on,
Bye,
Janga.
Bye, 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 Bye,
Moko yobu.
Wa acha wañu. Jox ñu signal. Tell us a story.
Well, actually, man, when it comes to having issues with people or people hurting me, man, basically, I'm this type of a person. Being I am cool with everybody. Yeah. Man mun nga ma def li nga xamne dafa metti sa. But still now, da nga gis man my tone at some point man mala rusa. Them nañ to an extent, even my own dad, my father, he said, Ibrahim mom, even if he is dying, do ko de xam.
Waaye loolu baaxut.
Wow. Man neko, I don't think comme ni ñi luñ dé wax ne in la maki amuñ ko maki. Man, I have it with everybody. Yeah. Man musuma gis ki nga xamne dafa taxaw mu ne mak Ibrahima duñ dé wax. No, even if you don't talk to me, dama la engage. At some point, I don't want to go with that excess baggage bi nga xamne man dama am the feeling that ki awmako ak mom. I have to make sure I am cool with everybody. It's not dama talk ci TV bi pour attest ko. Even at workplace fee, am na yena situation yi nga xamne su nekké dama ci don topa suma xol. Duma ko am fi ñu bari even the top management at some point duma ko am ñu bari maak suma boss yi dañ dé nek fi dañ dé hulu dañ dé taxaw dañ dé bëgga fight why at some point dama dé feel ne you know xam nga rek waruma lifit té dama dé ton ma ñëw apologize o ma ñëw dama la dé rus at some point té xam na né sometimes ya daanu suma kaw sax
waaye danga ko dé jox individual
dama ñëw ma apologize dama dé rus dama dé feel dama am da tayo dama dé rus ne maak yow ñu ngi am issue even bu nekkee yaa ma tooñ at some point dama la dee rus loolu suma weakness I don't know
waaye man personally Ali will come to you man personally I do not agree with that man gom-gom bu ma am as an individual mooy suma mental health comes first suma mental health comes first mooy suma xamee ne suma associated with a certain person daf maa jox issues may xalaat wala mun a xarima duma ko def it's freedom of association loolu dara nekku si man si suma gis-gis laay wax de suma fiilee ne kii suma fiilee ne kii suma waxee ak moom wala ma jëflanteek moom dina ma affect du ma jëflanteek yow dinaa la gis ne la diw nga ne ma diw yàllaa ko santaane ne toongoo baaxu dangay nuyu individual bi bu la rombee sa yow nuyool man loolu laa gom waaye du ma associate ak yow because mental health laa am te may nit te war a dox suma soxla te am na yoo xam ne jaru ko fi man loolu laa gom yow loolu mu ngi laa xam indirectly si suma gis-gis laay waxee man ne because minute ne nit ki yow da nga war a associate with it's a freedom of association
man at some point dama ko train suma boppa ba ma ko miin man du ma dee disturb anymore man awma ki nga xam ne toog naa awma ko yow I have it with everybody in this world adina bi yëpp
waaw loolu xëj na sa gom-golo waaye man daal suma mental health comme ci jamono buñ toolu nii suma mental health mooy ne suma xalaat lu may toog di xalaat lu maa wax man si man loolu laa jiital fi mu ne nii te loolu man dama feel ne su ma ko jiitalee xëj na am feel naa ne yow suma associé ak yow man dinaa dem toog mu naxari ma oo di ma treat in a way ne du ma neex man jaral na ma fu ma la gis ne la diw bu dee liggéey la wala leneen ñu def ko si jaam ak salaam ma dem toog dalal suma xel nag because suma xel a gën a important si man laay waxee
xam nga man su ma mënee jàng si lu Balde wax dafa mel ni moom mental health am moom
mun na koo jël
waaw mun na koo jël xam nga ni ñu duñ benn so man loolu laa mën a jàng si li mu wax waaye tamit yow li nga wax tamit dëgg la it makes sense
man
waaye tamit we just have to understand nit ñi duñ benn
waaw waaye man suma mental health su ko munee jël sax man dama ko dee safeguard first balaa maa find out na mun na koo accept sax mun na koo accept waaw si jamono boobu lañ toll
Aliou ñëwaat
waaw waaye leena du boo ko faate de waaw leena du boo ko faate Aliou
liggéey
waaye ñu dem jarul ma non bul wari boobu affaire yi base la
Aliou ñëwaat
waaye man dama gis ne yéen you don't want to turn this program into a real talk ku nekk mu ngee wax du ma mun a wax bàyyi leen seen yooyu yéen
tamit jërëjëf Jeynaba I think proverbe bi nii is dafa am solo trop I mean comme eso lu mu doon wax rek ak Bande I mean nit ki mën na laa def loo naxari understand nga moom mën naa am partner waaye yow mi nga xam ne yow lañ ko def yow doo fàtte comme yow noo ko dee waxee rek moo tax man yu bari dama di overla bàyyi suma xel ak fu ma mënta nekk nag dama dee bàyyi xel kan laay associatal kan laa dul associatal because yëpp xam nga la laa dee daw am dat ñiiroo ŋaaroo wala ñu àgga certain level boo xam ne xam nga tooñat dina fa am wala ak yooyu noonu loo xam ne ëllëg mu ngaa def ba nga regret ko wala sax nga dégg la ñun yëpp ku si nekk dina am as somp mun na am tooñ nga ni fekk yëguloo ko sax tooñ nga ko waaye foog ma ne war naa àgga to level ba xam ne da ngeen naa tongo wante non di teg isa jaama rek na fa jaama bi nekk rek naka suba si yaa ngi fine ngeen jaamalante wala sax nga but when it comes to certain level of interaction am na ñoo koy amal wala sax nga loolu yëpp pour lan just pour sama jaama bi nga xam ne loolu ngeen seekoo especially at the workplace for instance mun nañu wax ñu bari ñëw la fa pour build friends or ñëw pour build ay family ok loolu mun na faa nekk waaye loo fa tax a ñëw moo nekk pour liggéey dafa sa liggéey li nga xam ne loolu mën a war nga wàcc parce que kër ñëbe sa kër jaama amal ak jaama ak ñëpp ci liggéey kaay koo xam ne like fil nga ne soo leen interacté rek da ngeen am issues wala ngeen am problème wala mu indi ay wax yi sew wala mu indi ay xeebaate ay disrespect draw a line man daa sa waay operate right nekku ne ok because da nga ekkati sa boppa no because am na loo nekk di daw li nga daw moo nekk ne ngeen am fitna wala ngeen jote wala yeneen fekka du am nga fekka jarul ko fii soo man dasaa waayam
at some point nag soo defee loolu nit ñi dañoo foog ne kii dafa feel too good
fekka du loolu fekka du loolu
people feel
fekka du loolu for exemple tey yow mu ngaa nekk liggéey kaay understand nga eso mun naa am ok man ni ma dee doxalee o ni ma dee acté in a workplace nekkut loo xam ne moom loolu la xam understand nga pour avoid that class sama diggante ak moom mu draw a line understand nga wala mun naa am man ni ma foogee ne noonu laa war a def pour àgga fu ma war a àgga even though nekkut yoon mun naa am yow doo dee xalaatee noonu yow li nga bilif moo nekk ne liggéey ñafe
nga ñibbi
understand nga so loolu yëpp bokkan si loo xam ne moo tax ñu bari at workplace dañ dee draw a line nekku ne la ok bugguloo nit ki non nekku ne la dañ ko bañ non waaye li nga nekk di sawar moo nekk ne nga am sa peace of mind ñëw liggéey si jaama liggéey ñibbi kër ñoo ko amal ngeen toog waxtaan kafre yi nga xam ne mën leen koo am it's normal life bi nga doo ko mën a
ko ama ñëpp sax exactly aduna bi moo passé comme level boo xam ne danga ko ama everybody loolu amul
because the thing is that ok mën na am ok am na ñu bari nekkul QTV moo ñu boole right balaa QTV xamante nañ ci media bi te sekkoon nañ lu bari fi ñu dajee jàmm moo nekk suñu diggante ak ñoom understand nga ñooñu addis yàggante ngeen xamante ngeen lu bari so waaye lu gën a am solo daal ci man ak lu mënta xew daal jaama bi dañ ko war a sàmm nuyoo salaamaaleykum na nga def yaa ngi si jaama naka famille bi understand nga
respect naa si Jey
man
bu dee taw asalaamaaleykum
man uyu ma doo eewu ne nuyu ma la de man dama dee leeral uyu ma uyu ma xool ma man dama nuyu benn ñaar
ade moom dafa def bu nekk sa des bi
waaw man nag dama koo def si benn def ko si ñaar xam nga lu tax pour yëpp leer ne everybody but comme yow am na loo wax lu important mooy nit sa conscience ngay doxee te gis nga si jamono buñ toll nii ñu ngi si lan 2022 conscience rek am solo yow leer na la nañ ne as an individual ne yow nit ñi luñ foog si yow loolu du yow yow soo gisee xëj na associate loo ak certain people sa yow da ngaa safeguard sa own mental health comme si jamono man gis nga man léegi Ibrahima mental health first other things come second because I've been through circumstances where man dama jëloon suma mental health take ko for granted whereby anybody can come mu tampa on you def la lu la neex level boobu noonu passé nañ ko fi mu ne nii it's all about yourself sometimes you have to be selfish to be able to make it in the world and it's okay not to associate if you feel like you should not associate mistake boobu la nit ñi am sometimes nit ñi for example ñu ne Aliou Ceesay dafa soof xëj na for example laay wax moom du associate kii moom du toog a kii du toog a kële Aliou Ceesay mu soof moomu noonu bi ngeen naa wax for example consent sam clair na ne dëgg-dëgg su ma associé ak these people daf maa jox mental health issue damaa toog kii wax ma lu ma naxari maay jooy mbaa mu naxari ma
jox la exemple fii sax nit laaj mus na ma fee laaj mu ne ma ne Aliou is too serious naka nga mën a manager ba am this relationship comme ni nga ko yebee after ma ree ma ne ko ne dëgg la man bi maa xam Aliou ak fekkaan sax xalaatuma sax bokk ak moom liggéey kaay comme lu yàgg la tey like it's way back almost 10 years olu ko ëppa ma ne ko waaye li ma xam bi xam daal comme soo gisee ma mun koo def ak moom doon ne mënuma koo def ak keneen waaye it's because ne mun naa am relationship boobu ak moom te maa ngi see mun a am that you know comme maa ngi ok maa ngi cool maa ngi comfortable maa ngi kontaan aw ma si benn issues waaye ndax dinaa mun a am di seen relationship ak keneen xam nga xëy na moom ni moo reacté su ma ko defee yéen ay keneen du ko mun a jël so it's about kan laa mun a demal
waaw
you know
ba pare gis nga Aliou man it's a real talk Aliou man prior to ma miinantee moom man dama joojoon Aliou understand nga
so you are confessed
Didi, it's a real talk, okay? It's a real talk. It's a chance.
No,
yeah, understand? Real
just
talk.
want to know.
Waaw, si real talk lañ nekk. Dama joojoon Aliou dama di toog ma ni waa kii dafa ñëw rek di fin filit farat. Understand nga? Da def téye saytam def li moo def dem. You get what I mean? That's how I talk. Noonu laa ko gisee woon. Waaye bu ma demee ba miinante Aliou ñuy tooñante darling and stuff. At that point, moom dafa bari jëkkër jabar. So at that point, I was like, it's about individual bi ak principle sam. Dafa mel ni man bu ma ñëwee QTVS. If everybody is going down to eat, I'm like, I'm not gonna go down to eat. I don't believe in because I'm not comfortable to do that. I'm not gonna do loo xam ne comfortable ma si. And it was beneficial later. Because I took that, because I was not comfortable, because everybody was doing it, it did not mean ne man tamit I have to do that. After njëriñ na ma. So Aliou tamit, I really like kind of judge him. He's not like the most approachable individual. So ko xamute. You know. So guys, tell me, man boo leen ma gisee prior without interacting with me, what first came to your mind?
No, man at some point I'm like, he's up na de.
yaa ngi remember first person buñ defoon Q City studio ñu dem round ne Mr. Kola ñu dem Banjul ñu dem different places that first production yaa ngi remember
man fii laa demoon
I remember I went to the airport
waaw man maa demoon Banjul laa demoon waaw maa ngi remember that day maakat la woon foog naa maag aussi maag naka la tuddati waaye
Mark Zuckerberg
déedéet Dija after maa ko wax ne foog naa ma ñëwoon nuyu la ma laaj noo tudd nga wax ma after ma ne Dija ne waa kii moom lu ñoo jaay serious ni xanaa kii daf ñu gën a serious
I wanted the job
you know
that's the right one
but yeah but the truth is comme loolu li moo wone mooy ne da nga xam loo bëgga and when it comes to liggéey caaxaanuloo si and foog naa loolu comme ñëpp a war a bàyyi xel loolu which is good man na du ma lay judge nit I don't
you don't waaye xam nga Aliou approachable lu toon moo taxoon waaye kii moom mu ne dama sopp
non man dama ne kii moom kii sopp na de
uyuma may ndeysaan late Uncle Ibu maa ngi remember Uncle Ibu wagi Uncle Ibu is the first person ku ma musa jox mic ne ma defal piece to camera fekk aw ma woon any experience the first individual maa ngi remember baby of the year la woon ma def piece to camera bi I can remember I took it like 3 times the last one was good duma ko musa faate
man tamit daf ma force ma def ko and then he sat me down musta di ma explain he gave me some tips and from then on
ñu ne African proverb bi doy na
waaw foo naa daal African proverb bi am na solo trop man si man ñëpp li ñu war a jànge si li moo nekk ne daal by one to hell man I keep repeating it honestly speaking in as much as people will say okay he's not approachable waaye dama di overla oytu
kese
loo xam ne dina nekk loo xam ne ëllëg suñ dajee dañuy sëgg seen bopp yi I hate that man li ma bëgg a def xam nga even suñ fi bàyyee ëllëg sax suñ dajee seen béyda bi ku nekk ñu ne génn bu ñu nekkee tuuti bi kafre jàmm bi continuer it's very important because tey mu nga fi toog nga def fi nit ki dara nga foo ne yaa ngi ko xañ war sa kam fekk lu ko yàlla dinkal feneen mu ëppa foo xam ka dese
mu ngeen a tasee feneen sax mu nekk sa bopp
exactly
so place yi bëri nañ bi happen na Aliou Ceesay maag moom base lañ xamante moo tax nit ñi if they don't man xam naa Aliou when it comes to work he is very serious why when it comes to other activities tam
bandi la de
viewers
extracurricular activities la de
viewers mun koo kick
Aliou is kicking me
so putting that aside for some seriousness aside from the real talk let's go for a short commercial break One Stop Water Solution and Surau Camera Unified IT Institute for all of your IT bàyyi leen ma advertise
football I do football
bàyyi leen ma advertise
media sports bi laa nekkoon di wax Kobakunda
waa sports I do football
waa bàyyi leen ma def suma advertisement bi bàyyi leen ma rek marketing ñu ngi indi xaalis programme
non just to clarify bale di woon mën ko football ak daw ma daan dem
loolu nga daan
media sports bi Kobakunda loolu laa doon wax
exactly waaw
So viewers, Balalan Mama in the Hali One Stop Water Solution. The numbers are right in front of you. Address is there, Sukuta Highway, and the numbers are right in front of you. Call them for all your dispensers, water tanks. Head right onto One Stop Water Solution. And Surau Kamara Unified IT Institute for all of your IT needs, ranging from certificate to diploma to Cisco. We will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, the conversation continues with added seriousness. Man bukuma chahan. We'll be right back.
International Women's Day.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Basonko here with my amazing co-hosts, Ansumana Esonyasi, Ibrahim Abalde, as well as Alu Cisse. So we've already dealt with our African proverb. If you've missed that fun conversation, head right on to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page just to catch up on the amazing discussion that we just had. So now we are heading right on to International Women's Day. Today is International Women's Day, and the theme is Break the Bias. So because I'm surrounded by amazing gentlemen, I will just give them the opportunity to tell me how they're using their own space to support women. So Ansumana, we'll start with you. You have a daughter, you have a wife, you have a mom.
Absolutely. I mean, I just want to say happy International Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. But then this is a day that has been, set aside to celebrate women, to recognize women, to also amplify the voices of women, and all campaigns against any form of abuse against women. So it's a special day, and on a day like this, I celebrate my wife, my daughter, my mother, my grandmother, my mother-in-laws, and any woman that is in my life, from friends to colleagues at work to sisters, everybody, because it's an important day. For me, Jay, you all know I have a very close bond with my daughter, and this is because of, how much I am always celebrating women. It shows just how much I respect women. On a serious note, because growing up, I used to be very much attached to my younger sister. So since he passed on, I didn't have that closeness. It took me a while, and this is why I'm giving all that attention to my daughter. This is why the bond come forward. But again, I think it's more about looking at the challenges that women are facing in our today's world, with a view to addressing them, and of course supporting them as well. From our workplaces to our homes, even within society, we also come together to support women. It's not just about women complaining about things or problems they're faced with, but it's about us men recognizing those problems and doing something about it. So for me, this is an important.
All right. So Ibrahim, what's your take on this year's International Women's Day? The theme is Break the Bias.
This is a very important theme, and it's a very important day. Me growing up, I got married almost 11 years ago. Alhamdulillah. You can remember. Ali was there when I got married. Me growing up, I realized that women are not just to be kept in the house as housewives. Right. They have a whole lot of stuff to do. You understand? At first, I did not understand all those things. But as things are going this way, now I understand. They need to be empowered. They need to be taken care of. Especially me too, having a daughter. I have a daughter, although I have boys. I have 3 boys and a daughter. Alhamdulillah.
We should break the bias.
I'm sitting.
So I have a question for you quickly, because we have a video that is coming up next. Quickly, we know about gender roles. Gender roles moy góor beeg jigéen bi dañ designal ku nekk lan la war a def in a household. So yow lan nga nekk di def si sa kër, comme considering am nga doom yu jigéen am nga doom yu góor, to break the bias which also has to do with gender roles. What can you do as a father?
Well, to make sure, I mean, come responsibility. Man suma domi, I have boys, very stubborn boys. You understand? Now I make sure, I mean, my daughter empower ko, come jangam, you know, to make sure these people, ñu muna japa, you respect and sister, to make sure, I mean, ñom yeb ben lañ. Let them not look at her as if comme kii jigéen la dafa war a am fu mu war a stop ak yooyu no I don't think that's
so sa doom yu góor yi di nga leen bàyyi ñu bale.
they do that waaw they do it and I make sure dañ dee fóot dañoo fóot dañoo clean dañoo def certain things in the house.
So which means sa kër gender roles amu fa.
No.
Masha Allah.
waaw man sax damaa bale di
jeex na
man loolu laa damaa bale
kon
ba pare jee balaa ñoo dem si Aliou
waaw
dama jël the most jigéen yi nga xam ne ñoo close suma xaar ma teg leen si suma status bi tey I start with the commander in chief of the house waaw mu ngi nii then suñ fa jógee then ñu am keneen ki mooy kan waaw suñ fa jógee ñu am that's ma mommy suñ fa jógee ñu am balance ki mooy anti balance
ndeysaan noonu la
yow daal demee si jigéen daal ñu la gën a sa xol bi daal génn ba bokk na si
waaw
yow daal
loo expect
waaw xam nga at some point
we
xam nga at some point nit daf day grow to an extent
naa call Penda
come this morning, like to be honest, this morning has given us a strong bond between me and you. Yeah,
xam nga daf day
to be honest.
nit sax mun ngaa ñëw at a place miinante wala ak moom waaye at some point ngeen miinante
ñoo dem sax am na ko moo ne
we have a strong bond.
diggante jéere ba ak bande óorul dara
suma best friend moom moo gën a ñaaw suñ classe yi suma time school dama ko reewa ba léegi waaye man bu ma duggee si classe bi dama ko xool ba ma ne kii dafa ma ñaaw you know me I like those things waaye after mo
balde problème balde wala how you look at so
Lamin Sow bu ñëwee suñ office first time marketing department wajam bi si right hand bi la ko def Lamin Sow waj bi waaw si right hand dama ko xool ba mu yàgg ma xalaat suma brain bi ma ne kii dafa stupid kii ñorul this guy is not okay so suma friend tam noonu la waaye after he turned out to be my best friend Lamin Sow bu mu ñëwee waj bi
waa jërë uyu ma I'm so proud that you decide to yow tamit nga add ma si you know that's so sweet. I'm part of the you know the women in your life. I'm so happy about that, and this is all because of this morning, the bond that we have. So Aliou xanaa da nga use opportunity bi nga introduce ñoo madam
jërëjëf Jeynaba jërëjëf Ansumana
so tell us it's International Women's Day.
Quite very important day for all the I say for all the hard-working women out there who are
I call them queens.
di ñafe seen boppa pour meko nekkul nga ne dañuy
dem ma defar suma mees bi fii
around so slay queens yi baal leen ma de waaye nag tey moom bés bi pour bés nga xam ne jigéen nga xam ne daal so hard working lu mel ni suñ yaay yi suñ bàjjen yi nga xam ne ñu ngi fële ci garden yi si tool yi dem si marché bi di jaay comme ni ñoom jéena bari suba teel ñëw liggéey ñoom Mariama si sa pale gars yi yëpp di la wax ne Happy International Women's Day ngàcce ngalaama jigéeni Gambia amu leen morom yéen amu leen morom ñëpp suñu mel ni jigéeni Gambia yi waxuma si les coïncide jigéeni Gambia ñu lay ew suba teel dem marché ñëpp suñu mel ni ñoom dëkk bi dafaa dem
waaye Aliou slay queen is by choice loolu is by choice dafa laa ne nga nekk lan mooy waaw what is your definition of slay queen même what's your definition of slay queen
da nga bëgg answer
jekkal lu pare
slay queen mooy la
so man daal ok maa ngi wax jigéeni Gambia yëpp jërëjëf yëpp you know I think the theme for this year is quite
break the bias.
It's quite apt in the sense that like we are going into election in just next month.
Right.
And right now looking at the number of women who have expressed interest in
It's
contesting
huge.
in this election, it's quite huge. But we are not sure how many of them will make it in the end.
Exactly.
But then si man daal foo naa
waaye man slay queen laa bëgg a xam because man yow sona lan mooy what is
slay definition I just want to know the meaning of
slay queen si daal moo nekk ñi nga xam ne si man
waaw
they are on social media
duñ
eewu
duñ
def dara sanse be baax on sang di xool fa lañ gisee ñoom eso ak ñoom bal ne mbaraan leen
waaw
on sang waaw di jéem a jaay nag ñoo fa nekk ut nag ñi nga xam ne dañuy eewu suba teel dem si marché bi di jaay on sang di nga gis yeneen jigéen ñi ngay dem jàngi métier
waaye Aliou ñu ne yow so stingy ñu ne da nga stingy moo tax yow bugut
jëy na ba man
it's because he's stingy that's why he's talking like this
Aliou is tight-fisted
Teres daf ko ne
he's stingy
you see and then the problem is that most of them these slay queens iPhone Max Pro you see them in gele no seriously
Allahu Akbar
sant yàlla du may dugga gele te suma 11 Pro la
li ma jaaxal sax dangaa gis slay queen
waaw
mun naa benn one hand bag la amee understand nga benn daala te iPhone Max Pro understand nga
don't judge
but some don't know the value
li ma jaaxal nag slay queen si bari ndee na nga nanaat seen kër yi
xoolal
du ñëw nanaat seen kër yi si biti rek si restaurant yi la
Aliou wigi
ak këri jàmbur yi
loolu la gaay mun nag
anyway for me as a person I just believe in financial independence and I am not here to judge how an individual is financially independent. I can't judge that. But just to say, let's break the bias. You know, let's make sure women get equal wages. It's important. Women should be treated equally. Recently, Wojak went into a Congress and decided to come up with a new executive, the Women Journalists Association. You know, Wojak. And, you know, for me, that I'm so hopeful. I'm so hopeful. I'm so, guys. I'm
Men's Journalists Association of the Gambia.
This is a message from control room. I'm not kuyonel. When the relationship just start, you go hear things like good night. End the call. No, you end it. No, you end the call. You are the best.
Let's go for this break. Lolly M. Kamara went round with the First Lady of the Gambia as well as the Honorable Minister for Gender, Women and Social Welfare to give donations to different hospitals across the country as well as a visit to the Maltu prison. So let's take a look at that, and when we come back the conversation continues on International Women's Day. We're having fun here, you know. It's a real talk. What do you expect?
Dear sisters, mothers, daughters, and well-wishers, I greet you all. As the first female mayor of Banjul, the capital city of the Gambia, and the president of Africa Capital Cities Sustainability Forum, vice president of Rafaela West Africa, an organization for the locally elected women's network in Africa, president of Rafaela, the Gambia chapter, as well as the co-chair of the Global Parliament of Mayors, I am pleased to share this message in this important month celebrating women. As a female leader, the theme for this year's International Women's Day, which is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, will be celebrated the 8th of March 2022, is particularly crucial due to the challenges the world is faced with. There is a need for gender equality in leadership in all sectors of the economy. It is important to create an enabling environment and national frameworks to ensure that women get involved. Otherwise, achieving the global goals will be a challenge. In addition, there needs to be more gender-sensitive climate policies that will not only ensure the effective inclusion of women in climate adaptation programs, but the leadership of women in the initiation of climate policies, financing gender and climate projects, and the increased implementation of women in climate policies. My council will continue to work to advance the empowerment of women in all activities and continue to ensure their representation in our leadership as a champion of women's empowerment and women's rights. All of this matters. It matters to the quality of our decision making, and it matters to our girls and daughters. A gender-balanced Gambia is better, not just for women, but for all of us. And the growth of our socio-economic and environmental development as a country. May peace reign around the world. May God protect and preserve women and girls in war and conflict zones. And in that spirit, God bless the world, God bless the Gambia, and long live the Gambia. International Women's Day.
Right, that is Rohi Malik Lowe there. She's, you know, she's always having the energy, and just the fact that the mayor of Banjul is a woman, it adds to this day. So her speech, one thing that she highlighted has to do with gender sensitive policies when it comes to climate. I think that is very important, because women are the individuals who get to go to the farm and just do a lot of agricultural activities. And with global warming and climate change crisis, it is affecting their form of livelihood. She also talked about women in conflict zones, as Russia has invaded Ukraine and the Gambia has voted in favor of Ukraine at the UN Council, thereby Professor Emoka. So yes, what do you think about her statement there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a good one. She mentioned things like, you know, having, you know, gender inclusive policies
on climate.
Yeah, on climate issues, and promoting women in politics, opening up more opportunities for women and girls. Yeah. So overall, yeah, it's a good statement, and I think it's good that we have someone like her, who's the first female mayor we have in the country. And by the way, she's the president of Rafaela, you know, for West Africa and for Gambia, and she's also the co-chairperson of the Global Parliament of Mayors. And I think that is something that all Gambian women should take pride from. So overall, yeah, good statement.
I think for me, her statement is quite apt. I mean, straight to the point, and like you said, I mean, we really have to congratulate her as the first female mayor in this country, and looking at the, you know, the critical position she is handling at the continental and global stage. I mean, say is somebody that many of us look up to. But I mean, on a day like today, I would love to see government, policy makers, and all of us, you know, move from commitment to action. You know, we shouldn't just stop at issuing statement about how important it is to have women equally represented. But I mean, we should ensure that this is something that is really, you know, actualized. I remember at the last GRA award, I mean, at the senior management, there was only one female. And you were there. I remember the president even teasing the Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo and saying, I hope, you know, we will try to have more women. And it's important. I mean, for example, look at the cabinet. How many women ministers do we have?
The National Assembly.
National Assembly,
Ward
only 6. Ward councillors, I mean, out of 120, you have less than 10. So, I mean, these are all things that, you know, we should really look into.
For me, I know people were going to expect that today we'll have an all-female panel, but I think that changing the status quo when it comes to the plight of women, it is important that we engage men, you know, especially men like you that have platforms and can change the narrative when it comes to the way women are. And like you mentioned, it is important. Let's talk about laws. Gambia, we have beautiful laws. We have the FGM, the child's marriage, and a lot of laws that are in existence, which is meant to safeguard, you know, the life of the woman, but all of these things are not implemented.
Enforcement is a problem.
It's a problem. Let's take example from Rwanda, for instance. They took it up as a deliberate policy, for example, to change the structure of their parliament and all of
Senegal,
that.
we are beginning the parliament.
Exactly. You know, fine. I know the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education is talking about gender parity in schools as actually a success story around there, but it goes beyond that. It goes to providing sanitary materials for girls going to school when they see their periods. All of these things matter. So I feel like the laws are there, but there is a lot of improvement that needs to be done when it comes to the implementation of our laws.
Yeah.
So we apologize for bringing you the wrong video. I introduced the video where Honorable Minister for Women, Gender and Social Welfare, as well as the First Lady of the Gambia, Fatoumata Babaro, visited health centers across the country, as well as the Mile 2 prison to do some form of donation. In that particular video, Honorable Fatou Kinte is talking about the fact that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they decided not to bring women together, but rather give back to women. So let's take a look at that, and when we come back, the conversation continues. Do stay tuned.
Women's Day is celebrated annually on 8 March to give women a platform to take stock of social, economic, cultural, and political achievements. In line with this year's theme, Breaking the Bias, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare is embarking on a week-long activity to support health facilities and prisons across the country with sanitary materials, food and non-food items. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte, says this year her ministry, with support from the First Lady, Fatoumata Babaro, and other partners, are able to reach out to these institutions and give support to the women at the labor ward of Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and Mile 2 women inmates.
This year, because of COVID, we said let's make it low-key. Low-key in the sense that on the 8th of March, we invite a few women to our office and hand over checks to them as beneficiaries of the Women Enterprise Fund. But then today we have chosen to go around a number of public institutions, the hospitals and the prisons, to give support. The hospitals give support to the women who have just delivered. These are those at the maternity wing and the labor wards of the hospitals.
Receiving the items at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, Dr. A. Keita and Anna Taro, Commissioner commanding female prisoners at Mile 2 Prison, both thanked the First Lady and the Gender Ministry for their foresight in helping these institutions.
These gifts are very important, not only their content, but also remembering the women who are admitted here. If people are sick, if you are sick, no matter what knowledge you have, if everybody abandon you, your recovery will be slow, even if they give you medicine. And then even the psychological stress is too much. So coming to the hospital to tell the women that we are with you, seeing them, it goes a long way.
I would like to thank you for this kind gesture, because you could have simply taken it somewhere else, but you remembered us. May Allah gives you the will to continue such a worthy cause. Marianne Garme Jabang, Director of Gender Equality and Women Empowerment at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, encouraged women to continue doing the great work.
My message is basically for all women, not just Gambian women and non-Gambian women alike. We're celebrating you all month. We're proud of you, and we hope you continue to really work hard, because that's all you do on a daily basis, whether we recognize it because it's International Women's Day or not. You are exceptional, you are valued, and of course you are celebrated.
From Mile 2 Central Prison, the team proceeded to Bundum Maternal and Child Health Hospital and the Brikama Health Center, where similar presentations were done. Happy Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. What do you think, Aliu, about their approach this year? This year they decided not to just gather women under one hall or something and just be delivering speeches. They decided to give back this year.
Well, for me, I mean, they're attributing that to the COVID-19 pandemic, but I would have really loved to see women come together and then, because previously we used to say it happens. I mean, even the parade was entirely done by our fine women in uniform. So I would have really loved to see them have a formal celebration sort of. I mean, we celebrate independence, we celebrate party victory. So why not International Women's Day? It's a very significant day. Absolutely. So I don't think for me the COVID-19 is really justifiable not to have women come together and celebrate this all important day. But I mean, looking at the approach, visiting the Mile 2 and going to other health facilities to give our donation is highly welcome. But then the most important thing that we are talking about is the team. Yeah. Break the bias. For me, that's the most important thing. And I think, like I said earlier on, I will emphasize that we should really move from commitment to action and make sure our women are given opportunities. I mean, to hold key positions in the country. They have all what it takes. You know, we have quite qualified women out there who can do equally as we are doing in our institution.
Well, it's important, Aliu, as you mentioned, action should be done now. You know, otherwise we'll just be celebrating International Women's Day every 8th March of every year. We'll be doing the same thing. I mean, we've seen women playing very important role when it comes to our society, in the homes, workplaces, you know. In fact, most women exceed our expectations, you understand? So what are we now waiting for, at least to bring them in, to make sure we empower them, to make sure we give them the support? You know, when you talk about this, many people will tell you there are certain things that women can do. I don't think there are, if there are certain things that women can do, there are certain things that men can do too. It's not a matter of competition. It's a matter of giving them a chance so that at least they can prove themselves.
But Ibrahima, it starts from you. It starts from your house. That's what I always say. It goes beyond just saying this, but it starts from your household. Do you stand your ground for your girl child? That's the question. Well, do you stand your ground for your girl child to not go through harmful traditional practices, to go to school, just to live a normal life as a girl child? I say that all the time in my house. I am a person that, you know, I am against FGM. You understand? I tell my wife, I tell my mother, I tell people that I don't want you to snatch my child from me, go take her and do any other thing. If I know that, it's going to be a big deal. So these are things. I mean, I talk to my daughter the way I talk to you. I mean, I talk to her to take her education very serious, you know, because this will take her to another level. This will, well, if you don't go to school, it will be very difficult. It will empower. It will be very, very difficult, you understand? But still now, for those that didn't go to school, they can still make it, you know, provided they are given the opportunity, you understand? So empowerment, I mean, it, like you mentioned, it has to start from the house, and men have to give the opportunity. When it comes to our religion, it is said, men are the ones who are supposed to take care of women, you understand? But the religion also emphasized that women should be empowered. They should be empowered. Yes. You know, yes. So how about you, you know? What do you think about everything? You have a daughter, you know, having to take her through menstrual, you know, education. All of these things matter. Like I said, it starts from the household. And it's because of the way you shape the girl child. When the girl child is growing up to become a woman, that's the mentality that they will have in their minds as to where they're supposed to sit. They're supposed to be quiet. You know, they'll be discriminated outside, taken for granted and all of that.
For me, I think it's about building bonds with the women around you. I mean, women in your life. You know, be it your child, your wife, your mother, your sisters, even your colleagues at work. You have to build that, you know, relationship with them, to be able to have certain conversations with them. Because, I mean, they have to have that confidence to be able to also open up. This is one way you can be able to guide them, to help them, to support them, to empower them. Because without having some of these conversations, it's always difficult for them to open up. So for me, I think that is important. And as a country, I was going to add to what Ali was saying. Yes, there are still challenges. Yes, we still have a long way to go, but we're making headway as well when it comes to empowering women. The vice president is female, the speaker of the National Assembly, and these are very important positions in our country. You look at what one of the most important, in fact, the most important, one of the most important ministries, I would say, headed by a woman, Ministry of Agriculture. So we are making headway. Even you look at our political parties as well. You have women who are in leadership positions. The mayor of Banjul is female. So we are making headway, and I think, you know, what we should do now as you know, as a country is, like Ali said, to move from commitment to action. I mean, it has to show, it has to, you know, we have to be seen taking action, not just, you know, making statements. I like the fact that, in as much as there has not been any you know, gathering of many women this year, but I like the fact that at least they've been able to do something, to reach out to these women, to go to them, to meet them, and to show that at least, yes, we care as well. I think this is important.
And I think the best thing they did, I mean, going to the Mile 2 central prisons, you understand? Prisons are supposed to be correctional centers. I mean, we should not leave them behind, you know. Sometimes if you tell other people we have women in Mile 2, they will deny that we have women, you know, because the mental picture that they have, you know, that women are not in mile two, but there are women. So these are people. If we are to empower our women, I mean our society, we have to start from these institutions, because empowerment have to start from them. Because if it's a correctional facility, I mean, when you empower them, once they leave that place, this will be a continuing, like it will continue. It will, like they will be empowered already. So I think it's a good one. They visited mile two.
Yeah, and for me, let just these materials go to the people that it is supposed to go to, because also doing these forms of donations are one thing, but them also benefiting the right people that it is supposed to benefit is another thing, because we've been through issues as such. I think the First Lady sponsored it. I think she's doing well, although she can do more as well, you know, considering the position that she's at, you know, then they are faslum daw rek. So she can do, I mean, it's not a constitutional mandate that she should have that office, but the fact that she has the influence, there's a lot more that she'll be able to do for women
really
in this country.
She's been intervening. You know, in fact, I've seen situations where you have young children who are badly in need of overseas treatment, and she will step in to help facilitate that, and even women as well who need support. So she's been trying, and like you said, so we recognize her efforts as well.
Okay, so I'm informed that now we will have to head right on to the National Assembly election nomination. I'm aware that someone has already filed in his nomination, but unfortunately he doesn't have a voter's card, or is looking for his or her voter's card down there.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so we have videos currently on the National Assembly election nomination. So let's go and take a look at that, and when we come back, we'll have a discussion in relation to that. We'll be right back.
Yeah, there was some missing documents. There was some good. There was some missing documents, like my voter's card was missing. Obviously, the time you told me that go and bring your documents, obviously I have 100% sure that I lost my voter's card. So that's give me the opportunity, the mindset that I have to go to direct to the headquarters to complain, to lodge the complaints there, so that they can help me with a sudden.
Right, so I'm told that that's Yundum there, Mr. Fall, is talking about losing his voter's card. I mean, I'm even stumbling because it's a bit of a surprise. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt, because we are not sure the circumstances. Considering that video, we're not sure of the circumstances surrounding him losing his voter's card.
But I heard him mention something. He said, I mean, he is 100% sure that he lost his voter's card. I don't understand. And
you see,
he said, I have to come to the officers and tell them plain. I think these are documents that you should accumulate before going in for the process.
I was going to come to that, because the law is very clear. You cannot be voted for if you can't vote. And to be able to vote, you need to have a voter's card. I think our politicians should also be mindful of one thing. You're given a checklist of the documents that you're required to submit, and one of those, in fact, at the top it says you have to be Gambian, you have to have a voter's card, because you should be able to be vote and before you're able to be voted for. So I think, for me, I don't think it's really an excuse. I don't know how it got lost, but I think he should have notified them even before going there. Because I mean, it's obvious. He's saying he's 100% sure he's lost it. So he should have actually notified them formally first, prior to. Why wait until nomination day? Anyway.
Well, what does this tell you when it comes to our politics in the Gambia? Are we taking politics very serious?
Yes, we are taking politics very seriously. Maybe this is something that can happen to anybody.
That's what
anybody can lose your document. I mean, maybe perhaps it's not something that he has really, anticipated. I mean, for someone who wants to contest as a National Assembly member, I mean, it is never his wish to have his voter's card or any document lost. So maybe it has happened, unfortunately, and I just hope, he'll be able to find it and be, resubmitted before the 30th
Yeah, I
of
think
this
there's
month. But then for me, it's
there's a
just
window.
unfortunate.
Yeah, there's a window or something.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him, to be honest. It's unfortunate. It's
But
unfortunate.
then a message to all aspiring candidates out there: make sure you get all your documents in time.
Because it's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I mean, most of them, they're having this issue because you have some of them who are currently working in the public service, and then, you know, you have to go with a 1 year leave notice without a pay, and some of them, you know, they will go up to the IEC without this letter, and now they're struggling to get this letter.
Yeah.
And even party sponsorship letters as well.
Exactly.
I think yesterday we had 2 incidents.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But just generally,
So-
gentlemen, how do you see the individuals coming up for the parliamentary election this year, Aliu? How do you see them ranging from their caliber, you know, the gender, and the list goes on?
Yes, in terms of the gender, as of yesterday, we had only 2 women who have expressed interest. That's Kade Kamara of Fonye Bandali constituency under the APRC ticket, and Nene Freda Gomez of CA for Serekunda West constituency. And then, I mean, we've listened to most of them after submitting their nomination papers, and I mean, they are raising issues that, you know, they want to address as far as their different constituencies is concerned. But to some extent, I think they are so ambitious that, you know, they are trying to lose, you know, track of what exactly the responsibility of a national member is.
Oh, right.
Some people are talking about, I'm going to construct road, I'm talking about agriculture and all that. And sometimes these are promises you give to the people. If you cannot deliver it, they will be like, you could dig on.
They'll come after you.
Because they don't even know that that's not part of your responsibility. So I think the most important thing is that those who are aspiring to contest should be honest with their people. That, you know what, I am going to the parliament, by process and saying, you will do some ligay. I will use my office to lobby. Why Nekolo Hamne is low some ligay. And they have to be honest with the people.
Anywhere.
Yes, I think it's important, and people are now realizing this, you know. It's not like previous politic days. I mean, people are now getting used to this. If you want to tell us you will do this, we will ask you, how are you going to do it? I mean, I think it's important. People are now raising questions.
Okay. So let's take a look at the coalition we had during the presidential elections with NPP. Now we have seen that you have NPP running for certain constituencies, APRC there. So they're trying to actually divide the different constituencies based on probably where they stand stronger. What's your take on that? Do you think that's a good approach?
So the alliance is still on. The marriage is still there.
It's still there.
The marriage is still there.
But it's a compromise
then,
ongoing.
Of course, because if you have to also remember that each of these parties have strongholds in certain constituencies. So naturally, it would only make sense, let's say, if I am a member of party A, but I am part of the alliance, it makes more sense to have reserve those places for me than have, you know, another party from within the alliance contesting in those in that constituency, knowing fully that I am a stronghold there. So the risk of losing would be really higher. However, the NPP is contesting about what, 40 about 40 seats, and you have the NRP 5, which of course all those 5 are their strongholds.
Yeah. For APRC, I've seen 4 so far.
7.
Oh, 7 now. It was 4 as of yesterday. 7.
For me, I think the problem with the APRC is, you know, there used to be this very strong party, especially within the Fonye
area.
It used to be, you know, the APRC stronghold, very strong, you know, it was an APRC stronghold, no-go areas for other parties. Unfortunately, you know, we've seen how the party has been very much divided, you know, from the last presidential elections, you know, to now, and I think that is a problem because now you have independent candidates who are going to contest within those constituencies in the Fonyes, who used to be very strong members of the APRC. Now, well, they will all tell you we are APRC, but then we know that there's
break.
Indeed, there's some division within the party. So I think for me, if they are all contested under one banner, you know, then it would have been a no-go area for any other party.
Okay, but
since
the fact
it's also
that
divided, I foresee, you know, some independent candidates winning in the Fonyes as well.
Oh, you're foreseeing that?
Yeah.
All right. So we have several videos. So we will take a look at another one there on the National Assembly election nomination. And when we come back, the conversation continues. We'll be right back.
No, sign it. It's already signed one, just like you signed this one.
So what are your priorities if elected?
Yes, my priority one I know is to support and promote fiscal policies. That's one. 2, we also will work hard in promoting to demolize hate speech, because we all understand right now, this tribal sentiment which is going on, and I believe it should be criminalized because it is not helping us in any way. Politics is about battle of ideas, so this is what we expect from all politicians, and I believe this should be very much enforced, whereby if one makes such comments, a very harsh punishment is waiting for you. It's one of the priorities, and also we will also champion in addressing our people's problems because they have shortage of water, even though most will argue that MPs does not have a budget, but at least we can use our office to lobby for projects because we have seen it in other constituencies. So why not Ladikunda Sabiji?
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and we're still on the National Assembly election nomination. So far, we're seeing GDC candidates there submitting their nomination papers, and I just heard him talking about budget. Obviously, it's part of his mandate. Seems he understands what you need to do as a legislature.
He said something yesterday that I found very interesting.
And by the way, that's Ibrahim Anyang.
Yeah, Ibrahim Anyang.
Yes.
Right. When he mentioned that he did contest the previous elections, he lost to Honorable Sekou Marong. Right. But whenever he has activities within the constituency, because he's also involved in a lot of philanthropic, activities, he makes sure that Honorable Sekou Marong is present and is involved in whatever he does, even though they're from different parties. Okay. And he, talk about having term limits. He talk about having his community united. He mentioned things that I think really should be the thinking of every Gambian, right. Irrespective of our political, allegiance. We should never allow to be divided by politics. And I think for me this is important. Yeah. And he also did mention that the budget is one thing he's very much interested in, to ensure that, to ensure that enough attention is given to education, to the health sector, and to agriculture. For him, he believes these are three sectors that really needs to be given special focus.
All right. So, Ali, why do you think there's the need to stress on budget? Why do you think there's the need that when new parliamentarians are coming, they have to stress on budget? As an individual who's been reporting on the parliament for so long and has been there when they're doing their proceedings on putting together the budget.
Yeah, the budget is very important. Yeah. Without a budget, the government can't operate. And then, you need to have parliamentarians who really understand issues as to, which particular sector so receive what amount, and also to monitor how those funds are spent, whether they are really spent for the purpose which they are meant for. And it's going to be important because, and then the thing is that, for me, I'm really quite keen to see how the next 6 legislature will look like, knowing the fact that certain people are not coming back, like Khalifa Saleh and others who really understand issues and can critically analyze things and bring us the facts. Some of these MPs will be coming in as new, even though we know some of them might be coming back. But then it's really going to be interesting. But in terms of the budget, yes, it's really important. We really need to have MPs who really understand issues first to be able to.
Jay, and again, a staunch youth advocate. Yesterday, you remember when Don said, when he mentioned that, from within the Makati and the Jokado and Kerawan, and they have so many young people. In fact, what's the word he used?
They look handsome.
Yes.
Really?
They look handsome, nicely dressed.
Exactly.
That's how they are politicians.
But he was also clearly excited about the fact that you have so many young people expressing interest in contesting the upcoming National Assembly elections. And I think for me,
so the speaker, while she was bidding farewell, she talked about some of the things that they can brag about as a parliament, this particular parliament. And you also talked about the fact that Khalifa Saleh might not be there anymore. But also, he is saying he's willing to support in any way possible when it comes to guiding the parliament. At least with that, we can be at rest, knowing that he's not at the parliament, but he can come once in a while to make sure that things are in order, because that is what we need from these individuals.
Maybe during their in-house trainings.
You never know.
Building.
Exactly,
He can come and then provide the service to them.
So at least he's willing to come back to support. But let's talk about the past parliament. What has been that thing that you can remember, Isu, from their own proceedings there, ranging from the budget, from the debates that they've had just recently. The women's quota system did not even pass its second reading, and they talked about strong achievements that they've had as a parliament. So what can you tell us?
Jay, in as much as there has been hurdles here and there, I have to be honest with you. For me, like in my opinion, this is one of the best national assemblies we've had in many years.
Why is that?
You know, because you have them critically dealing with issues independently.
Okay.
We've had situations where you have NAMs who've gone clearly against certain issues that their parties are in support of, and it shows how independent they have been in the execution of their work.
Right.
For me, as far as I'm concerned, this has been one of the most independent, one of the best national assemblies we've had in many years.
Right.
I mean, during the Jammeh administration, during the PPP time, we used to have this one-party dominated assembly. But that has, even though, of course, you have, a certain party carrying the majority, but it's not really reflecting very much in their work. And I think for me, this is important. It shows that we're evolving as a democracy. It shows that we're making progress as well.
Yes, the speaker talked about how the parliament can serve as an example when it comes to progressive politics in the Gambia. So, Aliu, how do you think really the parliament can champion progressive politics in this country?
Indeed, like Ansumana had just mentioned, I mean, if you were keenly following the proceedings at the parliament, you realize that, I mean, this parliament was more independent than the previous legislatures. I mean, I've been covering parliament since 2008,
Right.
and I know how it used to operate back then. I mean, when we used to have APRC dominating the parliament, having like 38 seats in parliament. Anything that comes from the executive is in the past. They don't even critically analyze it, because it was incumbency at play. But I mean, in this last legislature, we have seen that, I mean, the NAMs were much more independent, and then it shows that the Gambia is on a path of, of course, being a well-recognized country as far as democracy is concerned. And then for me, it is something that we just have to build on the gains registered in the last legislature. We have seen they have passed many bills, but also many proposals from the executive were turned down. We have seen where ministers are even forced to appear at the parliament.
Right.
And all those things have happened. Under the previous system, you dare not, even challenge a minister for not coming.
Yeah.
For
For me, what caught my attention when it comes to this National Assembly has to do with their select committees.
Yeah.
I've been following,
I
have been strong, I do not report on Parliament, but I've been strongly following their select committees, and I've also covered few select committee proceedings here and there. I am so happy about how they're really holding public institutions accountable. They question you. They look at all the auditing, look at the COVID-19 money, and all of these things. So for me, their select committees were quite vibrant. They had a lot of questions to ask. They dig, they send you back to come back and do what's right and all of that. So for me, it is the select committees. For me, this particular legislature, I was quite impressed with it because I've covered it a few times. I've seen how they do it, and that is why most of the time when we're talking about parliament, when I sit on this platform, what I talk about is when you want to be a parliamentarian, consider that you will be part of a select committee. And you need to have a little bit of knowledge as to if you are a select committee for ICT, are you select committee for human rights? Your knowledge will count as to putting these institutions on the right path. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about the select committees. For me, I mean, what impressed me most is the composition of these select committees.
Right.
You have people who, maybe are not experts in these fields, but people who have worked in those fields or have experience in those fields, or they're passionate about those sectors. And I've had interactions with some of these NAMs, in the field, and I can tell you that they're very much passionate about whatever area, I mean, they're in. I remember, going around the country with the health committee, the same as the governance committee as well, and even the agriculture committee. And you go with these people on the field, you see how passionate they are about what they're doing, how they scrutinize these officials just so they make sure that the Gambian people are served. So for me, I think it's important, and like Aliu said, what we should do now is to build on the gains that have been registered by the previous parliament, and really I am very hopeful, because with the caliber of aspirants I am seeing, I mean, from day before yesterday to yesterday, I think, come after the 9th, we're going to have a new parliament made up of very competent norms, and I look forward to that really.
Yeah, but Aliu, let's also talk about the ECOWAS Parliament. You traveled with the delegation. You know, what is the stance of our local parliaments at the ECOWAS Parliament there?
Very, very, very important. Like you said, I mean, the ECOWAS Parliament is a composition of parliaments of the sub-region. Every country has a delegation. Like in the case of the...
So Ali, we'll get back to that shortly. I am informed that we have Majanko Samusa on the line. Is that so? Honorable Majanko Samusa there. Let me add the honorable. Ali, you can continue with the ECOWAS Parliament.
Okay,
all right. Yes?
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Majanko Samusa. Well, according to the IEC schedule, the parties that are meant to appear today to present their candidates are the Gambian Moral Congress, NCP, and GPDP. We understand NCP is not putting up a candidate, and currently the leader of the GPDP party, Henry Gomez, is out of the country. We couldn't reach him before we come on air. But we are joined by Majanko Samusa, leader of the NCP party. Honorable, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on this program. Is your party participating in the upcoming election?
Thank you very much. You are welcome for interviewing me. My party is not participating as a single party in this parliamentary election. As you know, NCP is part of the coalition since 2016, led by President Adama Barrow, and still NCP maintains that coalition up to today.
So, Honorable, how will you ensure your party's legacy lives on, considering that you will not be vying for any of these constituencies? What is going to make us remember the existence of your party if you are under the NPP ticket continuously?
It doesn't make difference in political arena. Once you are in a coalition, you know, whether you put up a candidate or you don't put up a candidate, you are registered. You always remember. That's why you called me today. We are in record. We do not, having been revoked our registration with IEC, then we will no longer be remembered. So since 1975, when NCP inception, NCP has registered, you know, with the IEC. Up to today, it never revoked their registration. So we still remember.
Yeah, but Honorable, registering a political a party and actively participating in politics under your own banner, as in NCP, do you agree with me that it's different? Because you have things that you want to achieve as a political party. You have your own ideology that you want to push for. Do you agree with that?
Yes, you know, in connection, all political parties have their manifesto. NCP has their manifesto, the constitution, which is right in front of the IEC. So that is already understandable. I mean, once you are in a connection, excuse me, once you are in a connection, understand, it lets to you, understand, you know, to put up a candidate. We don't want to, understand, seal the vote. You see, we look ourselves by age. And the late coalition, NPP, has an age over us on the constituencies. So it's meaningless, because when you want to put up a candidate there, it means we don't weaken them.
Okay, but Honorable, what do you have to tell individuals who are with the notion that it's because NCP is dead, that is why you're collating with NPP and it's not putting up a candidate because you cannot win in any constituency? What do you have to say to those people?
Why are you calling me then? When the candidate is dead, then why then, you know, I'm told by IEC to whether I'm putting up a candidate.
Okay.
Honorable, yes.
But that is because you are registered, Honorable. It's because NCP is registered with the IEC. That is why they are calling you.
It's in the list to come forward for nomination.
Honorable, thank you so much. I mean, you said the NCP is not dead. What's the support base of your party, and how present are you in all the regions? I haven't seen any NCP bureau in the provinces.
Support base all over the country. Can I tell you the project? Project is whether it's 2 or 3 is number, it's 1. Every day plus 1. If you have 1, 2, in the constitution, in the Gambia constitution, the winning margin is 1 vote.
Honorable, do you have
So the question of the support base, that's baseless question. Even where you have one individual, one supporter in every constituency or in a village, it's a support base.
That is why we are trying to, yes.
I mean, talking about having even one, supporter in every village, it's okay. Talking about supporters in every village, do you have, a functioning party structure? Do you have structures across the country? Because it's one of the requirements.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's why we are still engaging with IEC. The IEC has a rule. If we don't have that rule, if we don't maintain that, we would have been out of the arena.
But at some point, we saw there was a crisis in your party, two factions. Has this in any way affected the NCP?
That's the part. That's not very bad now. Ask me what is on the floor today.
Yeah, but I can remember I went to that particular press conference. I personally covered it. And according to the NCP militants...
We are just from the Congress, and then that's what we are dealing with.
Okay.
And now,
in the local language.
Honorable, in the local languages, please. Okay, Honorable.
Okay.
Abarka bake Honorable Majiko Samusa. Just briefly, Janeta Drong, Nita Fono Mole, Manika Kaunto, Munada NCP Mantra.
English. I'm not going to say it in English. You go ahead.
No, we want to do it in local.
Honorable,
okay.
Honorable, you're not saying, Honorable, you're not programming Mojimalka Jube. Like, just for the sake of. Okay,
you want it in different language?
Yes. Now in Mandika now, Munat NCP Mantra Local Pruka Deputy Carton Ciceremoni.
NCP Mantra Local Pruka Deputy London because NCP the Congressman of the British for 2016. New Adamabaro, legislative come. Abdullah Halika Amam Mufige. And the Malafi Natano and the Minnaga all over the country, every constituency. As today, any political party, except Bakau and Beckham and George Weah from the presidential election, Bakau, Beckham and Kiang West and Kiang East. Otherwise, all over the country, and Foni, 2 seats from Foni. Foni, Kankala, and Foni Bintan Karanai. All these seats, NPP has 8 over all political parties.
Honorable, iko alla party fatal. Iko alla party fatal, wala din.
Ha, but no kuna
yeah, but honorable.
Honorable, ya wala foka. Iko altol dama alte election o win no la nyim banko kan. Katu mol nyinata NCP la alfa.
All right.
Abarka.
All right, thank you so much.
Honorable, just finally, before you leave, I mean, you were serving in Parliament as a nominated National Assembly member by the President. Are you available to serve again if you are given the opportunity?
You said whether I am.
Whether you will be available if you are given the opportunity again to serve as a nominated National Assembly member in Parliament by the President in the next legislature.
Why not? Why not? When you are asked to serve your country, nothing is wrong with me. I'm not a lunatic. I'm not insane. I'm not sick. I'm not handicapped. I'm Why should I not?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Honorable Majanko Samusa. And just to say that as a television station, we are fully in support of persons with disability running for Parliament. We just want to make that clear as a television station. We will give equal opportunity to persons with disability who also want to run for different constituencies available for the Parliament as a television station, which is a deliberate policy, obviously.
Honorable mentioned things a few things here. NCP is a party, but for me, actually, sometimes I even forget about them. You know, and people believe that NCP alone cannot win.
Right.
So it's like they're using NPP, I mean, to be carried along. So this is what people believe. I mean, but he denied it.
He's disputing that.
In all honesty, I mean, Honorable is a veteran politician, I mean, widely respected as well.
VP.
And he's one of those politicians, you know, whose interviews are never boring because, you know, he's just who he is anyway. But in all honesty, I think the NCP as a party needs to work on its party structures. Because, you know, I asked him the same question, Ali also, I mean, regarding party structures. But I think for me, it should be beyond just having, you know, supporters across the country, because one of the requirements is you need to have structures in each region. So if those structures are not, I mean, there, then it means you have a problem. So for me, you know, I don't know what the future holds for the party, but, you know, at this trend, I mean,
Well,
this
I mean,
trend,
Yeah, because the party was banned at some point because they could not suspend it. Not banned. It was suspended at some point because they had a fraction there. I can remember attending the press conference that they had where different parties had to do different congresses and all of that, which was chaotic. But at the end of the day, like you mentioned...
the way Honorable is sounding, it's like they don't have any plans of, I mean, moving from NPP.
And you know, sadly, the NCP used to be one of those very strong political parties back in the days. You know, so I really would love to see them regaining that strength again. You know, likewise any other party.
Quite interesting. Like you have said, the nomination has been going on since on Saturday, and perhaps, you know, we'll also try to get one of the candidates in the Lower River region, Mamadou Dem, who is also contesting under the GDC party. He was nominated yesterday. We'll try to have him on the phone.
Dem was actually joining us.
Just to discuss with him why he is contesting. Just to give you a rundown of what has been happening since on Saturday. On Saturday, we had the APRC submitted 7 candidates. We have Musa Amunyasi for the councillor, Kadi Kamara for the Bondali, we have Modu Kamara for the Bentang, Ibu Koli is coming in for the breakfast, replacing Sunkarubaji. We have Suleiman Jame, or Sankung Jame rather for the Jarol, it's also coming back. We have Suleiman Jame for Bundukakunda constituency and Serif Sar for Joseon constituency.
And Suleiman, I understand he's been given his acceptance.
Exactly. So exactly. So we understand Mamadou Dem is currently on the line. Mamadou Dem was among the GDC candidates who had appeared yesterday, and he was at the IEC regional office in Mansa Konko. Geneva, you can engage Mamadou Dem.
Go ahead.
Well, Mamadou Dem, thank you so much for joining us on this program. Just tell us, how did your nomination went yesterday?
Good morning, Ali Cisse. Thank you so much. I'm happy, you know, for you having me. The nomination went well. It was very much successful.
All right, so Honorable, you're not an Honorable yet, but you're aspiring, but we can still give it to you. You know, can you take us through some of the plans that you have when it comes to the Parliament? Because prior to you coming on the line, we were just discussing about aspiring parliamentarians not really knowing what they are supposed to do, what their mandate is. So can you just take us through some of the plans and some of the changes or some of the bills that you would love to see when you come?
Okay, thank you so very much, Geneva. First of all, it is important for me to tell you that, you know, in this constituency, some of the plans that I have for my constituency, there are so many. We all know the primary responsibility of a National Assembly member is to make laws. Notwithstanding, you know, based on your own initiative, you can also initiate certain things, you know, certain projects, whereby, you know, you can help your people. So, for me, the part of my agenda is to ensure that, you know, there is food sufficiency. How do I intend to do that? You know, is in collaborating with, you know, the Ministry of Agriculture, NGOs, as well as, you know, International Forum for Agricultural Development. You know, knowing that here people mainly survive on farming, so it is important at least to liaise with, you know, some of these organizations to ensure that there is proper provision of fertilizer, together with, you know, other materials that would help farmers. Farm mechanization is another thing. So aside from that, you know, we have realized that in this within our constituency, people only focus on farming during the rainy season. So my intention is to at least, further engage them to go beyond that, whereby they can engage in a year-round farming through an irrigational system. So that's one of my plans. So aside from that also, I've realized that, most of the, on the educational side, most of the children here are going to school are not benefiting the way some of the people in the urban settlements are benefiting. So part of my, agenda is to ensure that, some of these people are also being given proper care, including teachers. I know it might not be very easy as a National Assembly member, but, by through lobbying or having your own initiative, you can be able to try your utmost best, for your people in order for them to have better living and also have a better education for the constituency.
Yeah, but Mr. Dem, did you make it clear to your electorates that this is something you can only lobby for as an individual? You do not have the power to implement it, but you can lobby and look around and make it happen. Are you quite honest with them to let them know?
Very well. Campaign has not started yet, but if we are ready, I've already developed my plan and I've also developed my talking points. So these are things, that's why I say lobbying. So because this, as you said, I do not have the power to do it. But, we have seen some National Assembly members who came up with their own initiative. The likes of Usman Silla, he came up with his own initiative and they are really doing well in Banjul. So I think, I can also do it when I have the opportunity. So another thing that I plan to do, as far as, lawmaking is concerned, we all know the constitution, the draft constitution, is not yet been restored in the National Assembly. So part of my agenda would be at least to advocate for Gambia to have, for the draft constitution, which was not brought back to the National Assembly, to be brought back so that we can have, proper laws there, and at the same time too, to ensure that there is time limit for the presidency and other things that, Gambians, advocated for in that constitution.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Dem, I want to come in here. Many know you as a journalist. I mean, what other work experience do you have that you think will be an added advantage for you as an aspiring National Assembly member?
Yes, okay. Another work advantage is, in our community here, as you may know, I'm not somebody who is not participating there. I'm someone who is always in the forefront when it comes to the development, when it comes to community development. So as we speak, I'm the Secretary General of the VDC of the Dongorba Village Development Committee, and at the same time, I'm a board member of the health facility. So aside from that, also, being someone who was educated here, I attended my junior school in Bureng. So many of them, know my capabilities and my competence. So I'm very much afraid with community work, and as you know, when I was at DRC, also I've engaged into so many outreach activities which made me to interact with my people and other people as well. So this one is an added advantage. So I've been providing my services to the community, and this is something that I would love to do, but in a different capacity at this time around.
Mr. Dem, when you go to Parliament, in the event you win, yes, you would be there on behalf of your constituency, but you would also be there to serve the Gambia. We know you have a journalistic background. I hope you would be at the forefront of, coming up with policies and enacting good laws that would serve to also empower journalists and media houses in Gambia.
Very well, very well, very well. Inshallah, I will try and do that to the best of my ability. So as you just say, some of you may know me, my main area of focus has always been into human rights work. So, that's why, I said, in order to serve my people better and serve the Gambia better, one must be in the National Assembly. So part of my agenda is to ensure that as we speak right now, anywhere you go, be it urban settlement or rural settlement, everybody is complaining about, skyrocketing of basic commodities, living conditions. People are saying that living conditions are very high, they are very expensive. So part of my agenda, I know Gambia is a liberal market, but I think it would be good for us to come up with an initiative whereby, we can at least try and have price control on basic commodities, despite the fact that, it is a liberal market. But I think these are things, that people can advocate for in the Assembly or in the National Assembly. So where, if people come and agree, National Assembly members agree, we can try and restore that price control on basic commodities in order for people to have...
So, Mr. Dem, does this mean that you talked about how you're very particular about human rights? So does this mean that you're looking forward to getting into the Human Rights Select Committee?
Very well. And that's aside also, as we just know, knowing that I was a former staff of the TRRC, I've also put part of my agenda is to ensure that, the rights of victims are being respected, And also, most of the recommendations that are being stated, in the TRRC recommendation or in the TRRC report are also being implemented, such as, the establishment of a reconciliations committee, and also to ensure that, the recommendations that are being put there are pushed forward in order to make sure that, victims get the justice.
But do you have the power? Will you have the power to do that?
It depends. You have to come up with your own. You have to come up with your own initiative. I don't have it, but you can try and as you may know, you may stood in the National Assembly and explain your grounds. If you have support with other people, then you can put pressure on government to ensure that some of these things are implemented. The right to implement it is solely and wholly the responsibility of the government to implement.
Mr. Dem, I just want to come in here finally on my side. You are contesting in Jara East constituency, and we have 10,996 registered voters in Jara East constituency. Currently, the NPP is putting up a candidate in Jara East constituency. CA is putting up a candidate in the name of one Yankuba Sane. And I'm sure UDP is also putting up another candidate. What are your chances? And then looking at the support base of GDC in Jara East constituency.
Okay, yeah, my chances are, number one, as you measure, like, for example, for me, what I believe in, if you see right now, most of the problems that we are experiencing in our constituency is because of the fact that those who are there to represent us are not pushing enough to ensure that some of these problems are solved. So for the fact that I've gone to so many places, the current National Assembly member who is there, people are not very much happy with the way he has been implementing, because as a National Assembly member, you are representing a constituency, so therefore you should not allow a shadow to be between you and your people. So I am here to eradicate that, because I've also told them yesterday in my interview shortly after my nomination. What I told them was I'm going to establish a committee within the constituency which will serve as a liaison between my office and the people of Jara East. So it is only this way you can know most of the problems of your people while you are in Banjul doing your work, and at the same time too, knowing what they are going through and how best you can come up with solutions to avoid them.
Yes.
So aside from that, as we all know, within our constituency, I've also told them that Jara is among the main constituencies that are underdeveloped. So for me, if I'm accorded the opportunity to serve, I'll be willing to give out the sum of $5,000 every end of month, which will go into a special account called Jara Trust Fund, or whatever account they may call it. And if it is being put there, we will wait until at a certain period of time we can see what we can do. So I will come back with this community. We have a discussion to see what we can do. Do they want to engage into an agricultural project? Do they want electricity? Because as we speak, Ramadan is approaching. All of us, who originated from here knows this type of problems some of our people, face, especially when it's come to Ramadan. So that's why I told them it is important for us to have some of these plans. Then if we have a certain amount of money, we can go to the government, or we can see how best we can engage other people to ensure that, we have proper electricity. So you will see then there will be more income for youths who are here, they are not employed, and at the same time to women whom that they want to engage into, certain businesses, but they don't have the facilities. They can easily, venture into those things.
Yeah. Mr. Dem, you've mentioned something very important. I do not seem to trust politicians who are aspiring to be in office. You said the current National Assembly members, people are not very happy people are not very happy with him. I hope when you are voted into office, you are not going to behave the same way. I mean, sometimes politicians seem to sugarcoat everything, but once they are there, it's done. Remember, there will be elections again after 5 years. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I say the establishment of this committee is important, because one of the complaints is, if you are a representative of a people, you should not only be at the base where at the National Assembly chambers, or you be in the urban settlement and ignore the people who put you in power. So that's why I think it is important to come up with this committee whereby, they can serve as a lesson between my office, the office of the National Assembly member for Jara East, and the people. So there you can easily know what your people are going through and how best you can, try and come up with solutions as far as those problems are concerned.
I just want to come in here finally. I mean, you are contesting under an opposition ticket. That's the GDC party. We know politics is quite expensive. It requires a lot of resources. What are some of the challenges you are facing? contesting against an incumbent. In this case, we're talking about the National People's Party. What are some of the challenges that you foreseen encountering during the whole process leading to the actual election?
Yeah, as you said, challenge. In life, there is whatever you engage in, there must be some challenges. Especially as you said, contesting on the opposition ticket is not an easy thing. Financially, it needs resources and others. But thank God, people are really, because knowing having belief in my capabilities and my competence, people are willing to pump in their money to ensure that we get the seat, as far as the National Assembly election is concerned. So for here, what I want people also to observe is being in an opposition or being in an incumbent, the competency matters a lot. And here, the people of Jara, especially the people whom I have been interacting with, they are very much concerned with the capability and the capacity of the individual who they are going to vote in for as far as, the elections are coming. Because as we just said, right now they are complaining that the man who is there or who was there is not serving them enough. So therefore, what they are advocating for must be somebody who is very much oriented and somebody who is well at least educated and know, what they are going through in order for them to be, assisted at least and solve some of their problems. So right now, for most of them, they are very much happy, with me contesting, and they believe that, if I'm put into office, I am going to, deliver without any, without any biasness or something like that.
Final message.
Yeah.
And just finally, you did your submission yesterday. Have you been finally accepted by IEC? Because I'm sure you were given time for them to get back to you and confirm whether you have been accepted or not. What is the final outcome?
Yeah, I've finally been accepted, and shortly after I submitted my documents, less than about 30 minutes, while I was on my way going back to the community, they called to say that my nomination has finally been accepted. And as I'm speaking to you, I was just there to collect my confirmation letter.
Congratulations, Dem, and we wish you all the best.
And hopefully, Mr. Dem, as time goes on, we'll be all transparent with how we get our money, because politicians sometimes are not transparent. You talked about the fact that you have challenges. He talked about the fact that he has constraints and challenges as to getting money, but people are willing to give money. It's also important that from there, at that level, they are transparent and come out to say, this is how I got my money. With that, we can trust you when you come into office. Gentlemen, I'm afraid I might have to leave you now because I have other engagements. I'm busy. I'm busy.
That's what I'm saying.
Man,
Jot.
Wato TJ.
In dollar, they say
Wato TJ.
Let's go for a commercial break.
Let's go for a short commercial break, and I'll leave you with this gentleman to continue this discussion on National Assembly elections. See you tomorrow. Bye. Time.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522 222 353 2222.
Viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're still watching QTV, and we're broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue, just right behind the Kusanman building. I am Aliou Cisse. My colleague Yenama Sonko has just stepped out to do other engagements. We're still trying to bring you up to speed as to what has been happening as far as the ongoing nominations for the upcoming parliamentary election is concerned. We'll just go with a short video now of Nena Freda Gomez. It is International Women's Day today, and Nene is so far the second woman to have expressed interest to contest in the upcoming parliamentary election, and she did her nomination on Sunday. So we'll just go with a short video of after her nomination, and we'll be back soon.
Contest for an elected position, and a very, very important position, which is that of the National Assembly. So obviously I'm elated and happy, and thanking God as well. I like to be addressed spokeswoman, because man jigen ñi lay taxawal, jigen ñi lay represent. So bëgg naa buñ ne spokeswoman ñu xam ne yëfi jigen la. Waaw, dëgg la man maa nekk spokeswoman Citizens Alliance, yore carte parti bi, di yore jokkalante bi between parti bi ak nit ñi, di ci sant yàlla rek ne tey boo gisee bés bii nii du ma ne Citizens Alliance di jox yàlla taranga gi yëpp, waaye ñoom it ñoo ma gën a puus ba ma toll fu ma toll nii, so di ci kontaan rek di leen gërëm di leen sant. I've done the groundwork, and I know my people need the caliber of Nene to represent them. Like you've said, I'm glad you mentioned the first woman to represent Serekunda West, all right? So it's a great achievement, and it's a great stride for me to be the one to have stepped up to say I want to represent my constituency, being a young person as a woman from that constituency. But I always want to emphasize it's not only about my constituency, it's about Gambia, because that house is not a constituency house, it's a National Assembly house, which means it represents everybody, Gambians and people living in the Gambia. So for me, this is not about my constituency. Yes, they will be the one to vote because they're the ones who are registered within that constituency. But when I get in that house, I represent everybody standing here, everybody that lives in the Gambia. I pledge to represent you, and I hope I'll represent you to expectation.
That's Nena Freda Gomez there speaking to the press shortly after she presented her nomination papers to the officials of the Independent Electoral Commission at the IEC Regional Office in Kanifing on Sunday. And Ansumana Bandi, you've had Nena Freda Gomez, I mean, trying to renew her commitment, her readiness to go out there and be the voice of women.
You know, I like the fact that
the confidence. There's so much confidence.
Yes, she's taking it upon herself to go out there and you know, seek her people's mandate to be able to help address some of the challenges that they're faced with as a constituency. Ali manama buga nit ku buga ay niñam, and foog naa loolu lañ nekk di gis ci politician ci li ñoo wax, because from what Nene is saying, it's like she feels, you know, naturally it's a responsibility for everybody within the constituency to ask yourself, what can I do to change the narrative? What can I do to help address some of these challenges we're facing with? And that is why she's come out to say, you know what, vote for me, and I'll try to do whatever, anything possible to ensure that, you know, some of these challenges we're dealing with are addressed. And I think for me this is important. That should be the language. And I also like her confidence.
She also mentioned something very important, that is, I mean, the National Assembly, it's not only for his place, I mean, but it's a national center where people, it belongs to everybody. So she's going there to represent everybody, you know. She mentioned it, and she looks very confident.
And also, I mean, like we discussed yesterday, so far she's the second woman, and she's contesting in Serekunda West constituency, which has about 44,000 registered voters. I mean, we know that the NPP is going to put up a candidate in Serekunda West, UDP, the same. It's going to be tense, right?
You know, Serekunda West is one of those, it's going to be one of those very, what do I say, one of those battlegrounds. Because you have, you know, people that are well-known, outspoken, well-educated, and also very much connected within the community, who are all, I mean, vying for the same seat. Excellent. So, I mean, we've been hearing names like Honorable Yakumba.
It's likely to come under UDP or Madi Cisse. I mean, it's not clear yet.
Or even Honorable Madi Cisse. I mean, these are people who have served in Parliament. They have the experience, they have the education, and they're also very much connected within the society. Nene has been very much active in politics for the past 5 years. And, you know, she's also known as a women's rights activist. You know, she's been, you know, contributing a lot within the communities.
And as we speak, she's the spokeswoman of CA.
Exactly. So you look at all of them. I mean, they're all educated, well educated, very much connected within the communities. You have two others who have served in parliament. So I think for me it's going to be a battleground between, and even the NPP, I mean, I don't know if they are putting up a candidate in Serekunda West, but then
it's NPP is putting up a candidate, and like you said, it's International Women's Day. While we discuss about Nene Freda Gomez, we would like Control Room to also talk, just to put on standby the interview of Kade Kamara of Fonyi Bondali constituency, who was also nominated. I mean, Balde. Serekunda West constituency.
Well, I mean, I think now people are becoming more aware of politics. It's a matter of seeing someone who is going to prove him or herself to the Senate. I mean, Serekunda West, as you mentioned, it's a big community, and over 44,000 voters registration. And well, it's a matter of seeing who's going to satisfy them. I mean, for them to be able to vote for the individual, you know. But I believe Nene Freda is a very confident person.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, really, because either Honorable Madi Cisse or Honorable Yakumba Jaite, I mean, with Nene and who's the other one again? I mean, NPP candidate. This is going to be a tough one, and I look forward to the elections. I wish them all the best of luck. But either ways, I just have to say that Serekunda West for me is one of the luckiest constituencies. The fact that you have all the candidates, very competent, highly educated, and they've also an interest in serving your constituency.
It's going to be interesting. If you go by the schedule issued by the Independent Electoral Commission, today we're having the Gambia Moral Congress, my party's party, GPDP, Henry Gomez, who is currently out of town. I tried him several times yesterday, but I couldn't reach him. NCP, we've just spoke with Majanko Samsa. I mean, they are not putting up any candidate. I mean, for GMC, we are not sure how many candidates they are putting up, but we have heard the news that my party is contesting in Woolly, which is going to be quite also very interesting, because it's the same constituency where you have my party, you have Sidia Jata, you have Tida Kejera of UDP. Most likely NPP might also put up a candidate there. It's going to be quite interesting in Woolly.
But like Serekunda West, Woolly too is going to be a battleground.
Because you
Sidia
have
is somebody who
you have all these people with this, I mean, big political background. I mean, it's
CDA is well established. My party is well established. You have what? Kejera, who is a woman, who was, I mean, an executive member within the GMC, my party, and then switched to the UDP, also contesting in Woolly. So that one too is going to be a battleground. CDA, like I said, is a well-known politician who served in parliament for decades. And you know, even contested presidential
highly respected back there.
Highly respected. He's one of those most outspoken names we had even in the previous parliament. So for me, you look at my father's background, a trained lawyer, a well-respected, well-known
and he is connected to that society.
Who has also served in government, and also very much connected within, you know, the Woolies. Kejera as well, a woman, very strong woman, educated, also politically experienced. So that one too,
I think it's not only the likes of Woolly and Serekunda West, but when you look at places like Busumbala, it will also be very,
you're right.
Yes, Busumbala too.
Now looking at GMC. Okay, now let's now go with the video of Kade Kamara, who is nominated on the Fonyi Bondali constituency, and will be back soon.
Based on the checklist, all the documents that we've submitted, in the event we have to reference, that's the list we're going to use to confirm that you brought this and we received it. At this point, we're going to issue with a receipt of nomination, not an acceptance. It's a whole process. After the scrutiny and then the checking of your nominees to make sure that you have 300 valid. Once we've completed that and there is no objection to your candidature, then we will issue you with an acceptance. Okay. So as soon as we're ready here, your documents will be out on the table. Right now, it will be out on the table for anyone to come and look at them. And if they have any objection, then they will raise it and I will notify you. And then you will have to come and defend or clear any doubts that there are. Okay? So congratulations, and I wish you all the best.
Good afternoon. Can you just confirm to us if you have successfully submitted all your papers
required by the Independent Electoral Commission?
Yes, I have already successfully fulfilled all the required documents that were asked by the IEC.
Now tell us, why are you seeking re-election for the seat of Fonyi Bondale?
I'm seeking re-election for the seat of Fonyi Bondale because I want the people of Fonyi Bondale to reconcile, and also we have started some development in our area, and I want to complete those development in Fonyi Bondale constituency.
Why do you want them to reconcile? What do you mean by you want them to reconcile? What is the problem?
Because we have this political, some are in the no to coalition, some are in the yes to coalition, and we are all one Gambia, one family, and one nation. So we have that small difference between the people of Fonyi Bondale, and as far as I am concerned, I want all of us to reconcile and be as one family.
You said some development projects that you want to complete. Can you be specific?
We have. I have a proposal that I want to construct and help us at one of my villages. So I don't want to reveal that village. So, and I was promised that before the end of this March, they are going to lay the first foundation of that help us. So I want to complete that project.
Today we had 7 candidates, 2 independent candidates, and 5 from the APRC. Basically, these are the 5 from the Fonyis, and then 2 independent candidates. Yes, you know, prior to this day, most of these candidates came with their documents. Some did 3-4 trips here, just to make sure that everything is checked, and we vetted all their documents. So that's why it was very easy today to just go through, and they fulfill all the criteria set out by law. Only that we couldn't give them an acceptance because there is a process.
Viewers, welcome back from that interview. You've had Kadi Kamara contesting under the APRC ticket for Fonyi Bondale constituency, there outlining her plans in terms of trying to reconcile the people of Fonyi, of course Fonyi Bondale in particular. Also to be able to accomplish some of the projects that she has started, such as trying to build a health facility in Fonyi Bondale constituency. Gentlemen, just briefly, what do you make of her comments?
She mentioned something very important, reconciliation. I think at the moment this is what we need in this country. I mean, for her making that point of reconciling people of Fonyi, I think this is very important. And, well, we are wishing her all the best.
Absolutely, but I did say it here yesterday. My mother is from Fonyi Bondale, so this is one constituency I am pretty much attached to. I have to say that, I mean, for me, her message on reconciliation couldn't have been timelier because, you know, it's more of politics, really, than anything, because we know that she's from the APRC, and the party, of course, as we've highlighted earlier, is pretty much divided these days. And she wants all of them to reconcile as one people and, you know, work together and, of course, prioritize the interests of the people of Fonyi Bondale constituency. So for me, I think the message is very good, and I wish her all the best of luck as well.
Thank you so much, Ansumana Eso Nyasi and Ibrahim Bande. Just to give you the schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we have the National People's Party, and NPP rather, will be at the different IEC regional offices to present their candidates. Shortly after that, at midday, we'll be having the National Reconciliation Party, NRP, and then we have the National Unity Party of Ablaye Ibrahima Jammeh at 3 p.m. That's the schedule for tomorrow, Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have PDYS coming at midday, and then PPP at 12 p.m. That's midday, and then United Democratic Party at 3 p.m. So we're looking forward to having a quite busy days on tomorrow and Thursday. NPP, UDP, PDYS, NRP. It's going to be quite interesting, right?
Of course, interesting. But that's
busy days as far as the nomination is concerned.
That's the nature of our job. Exactly. At the end of the day, I mean, I want to believe that our bosses up there would give us at least a week off. Huh?
Thank you so much.
Well, you deserve it.
And Ansumana Esonyasi, thank you very much. Ibrahim Abalne, thank you for being on the program. Viewers, are you still watching QTV? We'll go with a short break. And up next is the Click segment with Buba Fati. Do stay tuned.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Want it? Order for it and pay quickly using QuickPay on the QMoney platform. With great technology comes ease and convenience. Get a glimpse of what a comfortable life is with QMoney by dialing *323# now. Call 133 for more information. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe.
Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am QCell. I am Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Welcome back from that short break. Like I said, up next is the Click segment with my colleague, Buba Fati. Buba, what is on the menu today?
You know, man's fully ready today, man. It's a ragamuffin thing, for real, man. And trust me, we're about to have fun in the studio. If you're not watching this morning, you're nowhere to be found, man. My guest in the studio is Benjamin Cisse and Silky Chris.
Oh, I thought you have Bobby Wine in the studio.
yeah. We have the front line army, and we have Mr. Jumba with me in the studio today, man. So we're about to turn it up, man. Yeah. Benjamin, it's a pleasure, man.
Well, man, give thanks, you know.
For real,
grateful.
Wagwan, bro. It's been a while, man.
Good, man. Big up, man.
I'm delighted to be and trust me today, it's about to go down, man. Strictly dancehall and reggae thing in the building. First of all, Benjamin, it's been a while, man. You've been doing your thing on the low, out of the country.
Yeah,
a lot of fans miss you and you're back.
Yeah, give thanks, man.
So let's talk about you being away, actually. How has it been for you?
Yeah, man, it has been all right, you know. Different experience, different environment, you know. gathered some wisdom along the way. So we give thanks that God has, you know, taken me through such a long journey, you know, bumpy road, but still we are here, sound and safe.
Grinding, sound and safe.
Yeah, man, you know.
For real, man.
Yeah.
Now, Silky,
you know?
you were one of the, let's say, one of my favorite dancehall artists, and reggae artists in the Gambia, man.
Yeah, for real.
And you've been doing your thing on the low as well, man.
Word.
Let's talk about your journey into music and into releasing your EP that you released not long ago.
Yeah. Honestly, for over 5 years I've been on the low, you know, and I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot, and thank God for my journey, thank God for everything. But the most important thing is the project is already out.
It's out, man, and it's fire.
So trust me, everybody out there, keep on streaming, and it's available on all platforms, all digital platforms, man.
Yeah, how many months did it take you working on the project? How many weeks or days? Was it a full year sort of or what?
Nah, not really. At some point, during the time I ghosted, at some point, lately, you know, I was like, you know what, all the songs that I did, I'm going to park it aside. I'm going to do something fresh, something new for the people, something that has to do with what is trending now, you know what I mean? So that's why if you listen to the project, you'll feel that this is something fresh, something new, something that already people are doing fresh, you know. That way it is easy to get in there. You know, and thank God everything is working well. The EP is out, so everybody coof them.
Now, Benjamin, you've been away. For a while, you've been on the low. You were not doing music for some time. And then you had to come back into the industry again. You dropped some songs before coming. So how has the journey been with you so far, actually, staying away from music and coming again into music again as well?
Well, actually, let me say, I wouldn't say I stayed away from music. I would say, you know, I wasn't so active, you know what I mean? Like, you know, as far as, you know, putting out songs there, you know what I mean, new songs and videos out there, but I was really busy in the studio trying to create something, you know, trying to reinvent my music, you know what I mean? And, you know, because, you know, the more you live, you learn, and the more you know things that you never knew before, so you feel like you have to reinvent your style, reinvent your brand again and bring it. So I've been in the studio experimenting things, trying to create new version of Benjamin sound. So far I can say that, you know, Jah time is the best, you know. So God has decided this is the time that I have to reveal the new side of Benjamin again to the fans them. So God, you know, when God decides, you know, you can never go against that, you know what I mean? So Jah said now is the time, so I say, yo, Jah, here I come again back to my homeland. And all my fans are there awaiting Benjamin sound, all my fans from Brikama, all my fans from Serakunda, all over the Gambia, Jarasoma. They said they've been waiting for Benjamin because I've always been getting calls and, you know,
it's been a long journey,
you know, that Benjamin, you have to come back, you know what I mean, and reignite that fire again, you know, because we missed that, you know. So I tell them, yo, this 2022 now go pass until I came to the Gambia, for sure.
Lately, you've been away, and a lot of change in the music industry, a whole lot of stuff have changed. Now, you can see, if you check probably the scale of music, people listening to more of Afrobeat, rap stuff, and drill and other stuff like that. And reggae is been down a bit, if I could say. But thanks to people like Silky Chris, Lixin, and other people that are doing it big as well in the Gambia. Are you thinking of switching yourself from completely reggae and doing other genre of music as well?
Yeah, man. Well, I wouldn't say switching, you know, because for me, music is music, you know what I mean? Even though most of my music used to be reggae music, but I've been also doing, you know, I've been doing all genre of music because, you know, my first song that was ever played on the radio station was not a reggae song, it was a hip-hop song. A combination with P-Mac, you know, Bondem. It was a hip-hop song. And, you know, I've been working with people like ST for so long, and most of our collabs were not reggae, they were fusions, you know what I mean? You know, and you can remember Shy, you know, Shy Boy, he once had a rhythm called Bulldog Rhythm. The rhythm was like a Mbala, you know, dancehall thing, you know. So we were, you know, I was always on this other genres as well. So for most people love to categorize me on the reggae side, but I've been doing all type of music. You know, with Nova also, you know, the Ghetto Boy rhythm. How's it called? With Sesngom. Mic check 1 2. Or, you know, I forgot the name of the song. That was Mbala, you know. Man. So we were doing all type of music because, you know, the versatility is there. I think that is one thing like the reggae artists, you know, get, you know, ahead of some artists doing other genres. You know, we can flow in any type of music.
For real.
So so far, you know, I mean, I've been doing music, you know, on different genres, and still that's what I'm doing. And, you know, me too, I'm working on projects, you know, I have things, if you go on my Instagram still, you can see that I'm working on stuff that are different type of music, you know, fusions here and there.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do in the studio. We're cooking things, we're adding up spice and taking up
Making it look eatable as well, and listenable
palatable,
as well.
you know, for the fans, them, you know,
So quickly, we're going for a music break by Silky Chris called Jambard and Benjamin as well. Let's have fun, and when we're back, trust me, we're going to continue the interview. And it's about to go down, man.
No?
Cool. It's the morning show, man. Quick break and come back.
Aksina Jambar Aksina Aksina Jambar Aksina Watch you burina in a dance all the day. Watch you burina Walin Diga, Dilky Mola who won. Silky Nona, I'm here to stay till thy kingdom come. Just like volcano dropping hit songs. Watch how you talking, tiny python. I am blazing fire, I'm a dragon, yeah. Dragon. I'm the done, yeah. Done, yeah. Aksina Jambar Aksina.
Trust me, man, we have Jambar in the building with me.
Bad one.
Quickly, let's watch Benjamin's video as well.
Yeah.
And when we're back, we continue the interview, man. We got a whole lot of package for you guys today, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's watch this and come back.
Where that one is coming.
See every ghetto youth around the world. That one you go on global. Yeah. This is Benjamin Sissay. I'm a ghetto youth rise up and stand up for your right. Yeah. And if you wise up, yes, you can make it right. Whoa, ghetto youth rise up and stand up for your right. Yeah. And if you wise up, yes, you can make it right. Yeah, and I say, so the system getting harder. Tell the youth to read the books and get so smarter. Yeah, make we stick on to each other like birds of a feather. We will fly through everywhere there.
Just build a bridge and make a way for another man to cross. This are not the time to risk.
Which I recite, we will pass every earth. Just listen to my words. So get on you rise up and stand up for your right. Yeah. And if you wise up, yes, you can make it right. Whoa, get on you rise up and stand up for your right.
Hey, man, trust me, we're having fun in the studio, man.
Yeah,
Trust
man.
me, man. You know, it's a happy Tuesday morning for me. To be honest, man, I have two legends with me in the studio. They're making my day already. So Benjamin, let's talk about this video you dropped. It's a new video, actually.
Yeah.
The visuals, the message. It sends a lot of message to people as well, man.
Yeah, for real.
What really inspired you in doing this?
Yeah, man, you know, I'm a man of the youths, you know, by the youths and of the youths, you know what I mean? So somehow, some way, you know, along the way, since I started music, I was amongst the youths, among the ghetto youth. So I've been seeing things around me that always, if you check my music from day one, you know, my first video that came out was called Economic Depression. It was about the economic depression of the situation that we go through every day, you know, like the inflation that's happening, you know, and them things. So somehow, somewhere, you know, I am an artist who is always connected with the people, you know, and the realities, you know, of our society. So, you know what I mean, recently I've realized that, you know, we the youths, you know, we have to take charge now, you know.
We should, man.
Yeah. You know, it's not about, you know, calling out a violent revolution, but it's about a revolution of the mind, calling out the youth to revolutionize the mind.
Yeah.
You know, relearn so many things that we've been taught. We have to relearn again, and we have to read. That's why in the verse I say, you know, read the books to get so smarter.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you have to read in between the lines. All if they taught us, you know, so many things since we were kids. It's time for us now that we've grown up, we've matured, we've traveled, we've experienced. Even if you have never traveled to Europe or somewhere, we travel around here within our country, within West African region. We know how to compare and we know how to, you know, differentiate what's wrong from us, right? So the song is all about the youths to take charge of their destiny, not to leave it to some few people to decide how their destiny is supposed to look like. It's time for us to man up and brave up. Yes,
I know you came all the way for this big event taking place on Saturday.
Yeah, for real, you know.
What should people expect from you as well? Energy, fire, performance-wise, and other stuff as
yes, sir, you know. So like I said, you know, we've been on the journey and now we've grown up a little bit, you know. Yeah, man. So the people are going to see the more mature side of Benjamin, you know, the more grown side of Benjamin on the 12th of March, you know, in Q City at my brother's, you know, my brother's album launch, you know, Lexington, Lord, I Thank You, which is a very spectacular album, a big, you know what I mean, album. You know, Gambians will all look out for it, you know. Yeah, because I've been listening to the album. All the songs are like fire. All the songs are lit. They are big, you know. I am on it, you know, silky the pan it, you know.
Thing, man.
Yeah, you have ENC the pan it, you know what I mean.
A whole lot of Gambian artists
you have
as well,
Sophia the pan it, you know. And all the songs are mega, man, for real.
Yeah, so
mega,
Silky, back to you, yeah? What is your take on the Gambian music industry, especially the dancehall scene itself?
Honestly speaking, the dancehall scene has been down for a while, you know. But thank God, people like Lixin, Royal Messenger, Benjamin here, and myself are trying to rejuvenate it, you know, and take it to where it has never been, you know, because that is the mission right now. Yeah, man. And already we are getting there. By the grace of God, this year will be reggae dancehall all over the place, man.
Again. Reggae dancehall thing. Now, your final words out there, and then let's call it a day for now, man. But I have a surprise package for you guys. We're going to have a surprise collab with my two legends in the studio. It's a surprise thing, man. So let's your final words to your fans out there, and then let's get it going.
Yes, you know, I'm telling all my fans, you know, to know that Benjamin is safe and sound back in the, you know, in the Gambia, my hometown, you know. Like the great singer will say, you know, back to the land of my birthplace, you know what I mean, you know, from Jamaica. So this is the land of my birth, you know. So I'm happy to be here. All my fans, watch out for Benjamin Sound, Benjamin Music. Follow me on Instagram at Benjamin Official, you know, follow me on YouTube, you know what I mean, Benjamin Official, same way, you know what I mean. More updates about to come, you know. Stay tuned.
You know.
Yo, what am I deal with? Kuf them. This 12th of March, I will be live at Q City with my brother Lixin and Benjamin right here. It's gonna be a super bombastic night, trust me, and you don't want to miss it.
You shouldn't miss this.
To everyone out there, keep on streaming the Ghost EP. Trust me, you really want to listen to this EP.
For real.
Yeah, so before I take a leave of you, man, my shot, man, trust me, it's the ending of the show, but my shot, Link Dribbler Gang is gonna get you something like, sorry, Link Big Sam and Sisters, they're gonna get you something like this, man. You can call him on 397-3856. Link him now. And before we take a leave of you, Mariam, let me have my beat. Let's have a wonderful collabo. I'm a reggae dancehall artist today, man.
Straight. Well,
Mariam, let's go.
Yeah, drop it. Selassie. Yeah. With the pan of the click, you know. Whoa.
And today's Women's Day, man. International, happy International Women's Day.
Nothing happened before your time. Tell them say the click is always on time. What is for me gonna be mine. What is for you, nobody not be unkind. Always seek and you will find. You have to make hay while the sun shines. What is for me gonna be mine. What is for you, nobody no be unkind. Hey, my youth, don't give up. No matter how it hard, me say always live up. Cause life is not easy, but you can make it if you try. So get out of the bench and move it up. You want to build your mother house on the hilltop. Your picnic have to drink from a platinum cup. But you don't have to put another man down to make it to the top. Because it never worth all that. I'm telling you.
Silky.
Oh, wow. 5 billion lañ spent si ñeneen weer taxu dëkk bi mu ngi waw ni xeer ñi dañ bon ba tiital seen takk ndees waaye nu mu yàgg dina leer imam di taxawal ay góor jigéen ay activiste di taxawal ay góor jigéen dama xamut fan la dëkk bi di dem man dama joomi si luy daw si biir dëkk bi man dama waru man dama joomi luy daw ci dëkk bi daf ma yem man dama waru
I told you, man. It's the Click 7, man. And for my end, I'm saying bye-bye. Till I come your way tomorrow, man. Stay connected to actually QTV. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram as Skengman Sweezy. Follow me on Twitter as Skengman Sweezy. Facebook, Sweezy B40. Link up to my G here as well, man. Follow them on Instagram as well, man. For my end, I'm saying bye-bye till I come your way tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Back to you, Ali.
Yes.
Shout out to Mamad.
Shout out to Mamad, man.
Thank you very much, Abu Party with the Click segment. Thank you, Silky Chris and Benjamin Sisse. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Viewers, I'm afraid with that we come to the end of this broadcast. But I would just like to give you a rundown of the candidates who were nominated yesterday for the GDC party, because we didn't bring all of them as we broadcast yesterday. I mean, in the Brikama administrative area, we have Abdullah F. Jallo, Kombo South, Momodo King Koli, Brikama South, Musa E. Nyasi for the councillor, Lamin Kebi Bojang, Brikama North, Simon I. Games for the Bintang, and Alaji Fall for All Yundum constituency. There was only one independent candidate in the Brikama administrative area yesterday. And in Kerawan, we have Baukar Chun, Jokado constituency, Modu Bob, Lower Nyame constituency, Mustafa Dukure Central Badibu, Samba Fall, Sabak Sanjal, Modu S1, Upper Nyomi. And in the Kanavi municipality, we have Modu Jen, Serekunda West constituency, Ibrahim Nyang, Larchikunda Sabeje constituency, and MC Cham, Joswan constituency. In the Janjambure administrative area, we have Esa Jamanka, Nyamina Dango constituency, Yoro Jalo, Nyamina West, Umar Jalo, Same constituency, Ngari Ebi Job, Lower Fladu constituency, Ismaila Cham, Upper Fladu West constituency, Umar Sisse, sitting MP currently, Nyamina East constituency, Hamed SK Mane, Nyaneja constituency, and Umar Ba, Nyane constituency. In the Masakongo administrative area, we have Mamadou Dam, Jara East constituency, and Salifu Dam, Jara Central constituency. And in Basse, we have Araji Sow, Jimara constituency, and Suleiman Sisse of Kantora constituency. For Gambia for All, who was also scheduled to appear yesterday, they presented only 2 candidates, and we are Lamin M. Jai of Kiang West constituency and Mamadou M. Jalo of Upper Nyame constituency. As we broadcast right now, Mai Fati of the Gambia Moral Congress is currently at the IEC regional office in Basse to file in his nomination. And according to our correspondent in the Kerawan, Don Williams, I mean they have only one candidate today, and that is one Ibrahim Jallo, an independent candidate contesting in Lower Badibu constituency. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to have NPP at 9 a.m. and then NRP at midday and National Unity Party at 3 p.m. With that, we bring an end to this live broadcast. Do join us tomorrow. Until then, do have a wonderful day and happy International Women's Day to all our hardworking women. Bye-bye.
yelloo na ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérug yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD PO1 membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sellate wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu